snap down to low ground. Looks like he may have gotten away with it. How did Thunder get away with this? They found Panda inside of the pit. So he goes down, but ultimately, I mean, considering the disaster that it looked at the start, only losing 2 is not too bad for Thunder.
Yeah, that was not the initiation Liquid was looking for, and still it works out. Very nice bash on the black hole helps. Honestly, though, even if that black hole doesn't get canceled, I'm not sure that fight is going Thunder's way. Once again, this Leshrac just has free reign. Nobody is stopping Mickey in any of these engagements, not even close. He's up to Trickster Cloak as well, upgraded from that shawl. He is very tanky. Great job from Thunder to disengage this jump. You're going to waste a lot of the rage duration. Matumba does have BKB. And Black Hole's going to come in here. He really wanted both of them. He'll try and take Mickey, but I don't even think Mickey's close to dying in this Black Hole regardless.
Yeah, no, he really isn't. I mean, especially when he gets off BKB, a Bloodstone. It's like the invulnerable combination for the Leshrac.
He's a god.
Nice spear back. They're assaulting the tier 3s, but a spear back is beautiful. This is an opening out for Thunder. Let's see how many they get. The Chain Frost's going to bounce around. Boxy with his BKB is trying to walk away. He's got 5 seconds till he can blink out. Turn around. Oh, Mickey.
Kaz getting chain stopped.
Yeah, they're going to be able to chase out after this one. He's got the Wind Waker running down the Bloodseeker with the spear immediately on the way down. Dark Mago, can they burst him down? They get the bash required, and they do manage to get it. A buyback from Thunder wins them the fight in the end, but it's going to be costly. They really need to get, I don't know what they need to do off of this buyback besides just getting those kills they got.
That's double buyback. Dark Mago and Pakaz buying back there. Tier 1 and 2 destroying their economy. You're going to be begging for an early Roche spawn potentially. Oh god, I don't even know if it's within the window. And the one upside is you pushed your Bloodseeker to level 25 off that fight, which is absolutely huge for this hero.
Yeah.
You have double rupture, so now you can rupture someone at the start of the fight and still have one up for that Leshrac that debilitate his movement. Again, the
Does it even stop Leshrac though? I feel like maybe he just pops BKB Bloodstone and runs to you anyway.
I mean, again, that's where that displacement can come in. Let's say he gets ruptured, he gets speared back, he gets lifted back. You force staff him after. I mean, it all assumes his BKB is down and nobody got bashed, but you got to play for these little things at this point in the game.
And those are exactly the kind of combinations that we've seen Thunder, I mean, it's what propelled them to this top 6 placement so far in the first place. We said they're one of the best team fighting teams. They are super good at playing around each other. So that is a very real possibility they could pull something off like that.
They're absolutely one of the best coordination-wise, and they're also one of the best in terms of decisiveness. Like, when they jump, they goddamn jump, right? Everybody goes, it's instant. They know the fight is either going to be won or lost in that first 5 seconds. Especially with no buybacks on your 1 and 2. They are trying to finish up this Roche fast.
Oh, they've been giving up these Roshans, but Liquid, this is the one they're going to contest.
This is
I don't think they can get there in time. Boxy's not running in the right direction. He's not going to get there. Roshan's going to fall. Thunder going to take the spoils of war. But are they going to get out? Sai actually went for it. He's got the Aeon Disc. He actually managed to pick up the Soul of the Ages on the Bloodseeker. What a black hole. There it is for Taken. Locking down the 2. They need to be able to finish off this Lifestealer, but he actually gets Wind Wakered by Mickey. Dark Mago needs to be able to hit him with the spear. Barely not. He just runs through the walls, and that's going to be it. Now the Leshrac fighting for his life against Pakaz. Dark Mago, but it's not good enough. The initiation from Liquid. It comes too late. It comes too little. And now they're going to be run down by Thunder 1 by 1.
What a black hole to just find that initiation instead of the other way around. Zai snatches the axe somehow, but that is not going to turn that fight if all of your cores get caught in that black hole. Mickey blinks in an attempt to try and turn that. But at that point, you're all stuck in the same goo, and it's just too deadly.
Yeah.
Amazing team fight from Thunder, just baiting off the Roche. Liquid gets split on 2 different angles of initiation. Could have gone amazing, but instead, 7,000 damage getting pumped out from that Enigma.
And what can Thunder get from this? I mean, they were on the edge of a knife there. They used double buybacks on their 1 and 2 position. They were 1 fight away from losing this game. Now, they may be in a position to win the game outright. They're going to go for the Raxes.
And that was Octarine, Spell Prism, Enigma. He has another block.
Are they going to go for the tier 4s? They're going to start hitting the tier 4s.
They are
going to force this. They don't know for certain, but there is no buyback on the Leshrac. They could really try and force this, but the Glyph is going to stall them out. They're going to go back for it again. They're going to go for it again.
This is Thunder. There is no back. You force the buys, or I'm going to take your Ancient.
1 tier 4 down. Team Liquid, they got to smoke out here. They got to get inside. They got to get on top of Thunder now. A 2nd tier 4 about to fall. But the Pakaz, that's going to be the Ancient perhaps falling right away. 1 life down. Boxy popping his BKB just in time. Matumba Man, can he deal with this Bloodseeker? The Chain Frost being thrown out long distance. Matthew popping to finish him off. That is 2 minutes on the clock for Dark Mago. Now it's Team Liquid's opportunity. How much are they going to get out of this? How much do they want to try and end the game right here, right now?
Are they going to run it back the other way and try their own throne race here? I mean, 2 minutes, no Mars. That is a big window. Because lost his Aegis, he still has cheese. This is pretty exposable. I don't know if you can fight without the Mars. You're going to need to land a crazy black hole. I just don't know if Liquid feels super confident to push it that hard.
One black hole.
Damage coming out from these multiple ruptures now. Swift Link on top of it, Titan Sliver. This Bloodseeker is massive.
With the Stolen Split Earth on the Rubik, the right black hole is a game-ending combination potentially.
Oh, Matthew is just chain stunning them all right now.
Yep. Tossing them back into the same splitters. Those are not Flash Ray splitters, and that's going to be it. It sets up the two-man black hole. Goes that toss. He stops Zai. And Zai doesn't get the bash, but Mickey's somehow still alive. He's got the Wind Waker on now. The Bloodstone healing up, and he's going to be able to take down Picard. Boxy moves forward. He smells the blood, the water. He tosses back Matthew. Finish these heroes off now while you can. Don't let him get back to the fountain. Matthew dies. Panda with freezing field to save the game, but it's not good enough. He gets bashed up. Mickey right in front of the fountain, drives back into it with the Wind Waker again. It saves Mickey. Back to the fountain. Oh, toss back over to the side. Sacred pull back in. Zai, he's going to be able to follow it up with the Rolling Thunder as well. The chain stuns are there. He's got a buyback, but he doesn't have the black hole. He doesn't have any allies. Team Liquid, they can play this slow. They can play this steady, and they can go for the end of the game. But Boxy's been dragged back into the fountain. What is this? Tanked it. He just tanks it up, walks away. Avalanche long range distance. The Malefice catches them in the end. Boxy falls, and Team Liquid, they're actually going to have to back out. They've got 15 seconds till the Crystal Maiden, 10 until Dark Mago. With double arenas, they cannot end this.
That is all 5 buybacks on cooldown for Thunder. Did that tiny kill somehow save their... I thought they were getting thrown there. I mean, how are they not thrown? How does Mickey even get out of that black hole at all in the first place? The toss is the Wind Wakers. He's Wind Wake healing in the air. These fights are absolutely crazy. Of course, the multi-split Earths and the stuns from Matthew setting that up in the first place. I mean, both the first get combination.
I thought this both cores, and he gets the Leshrac who has that Wind Waker to save somebody else. It was the ideal scenario.
Saying he has the Frost Shield, pulling Bakaz off, and he can't even get the cheese off. If he gets cheese off there, that's a completely different fight as well. Every little small thing going Liquid's way in these late game fights, it feels like, and they are keeping themselves in it. Very difficult to play these situations into those black holes, but they are finding a way. And again, the tools, they're coming out, right? Aeon Disc for Zai, Wind Waker for Mickey. Some of the saves are there now. It's not so straightforward. And of course, all of the buyback pressure is on Thunder right now.
Yeah, I mean, with this moment right here, you see 2 heroes, 30 seconds on the clock. You see 1 hero, 90 seconds. We knew there was a buyback on Sacred, but just an Enigma and Rubik to try and hold that, it seemed unlikely, but Thunder still managed to do it.
I mean, we say just
the game continues.
This man's got a timeless relic. I mean, Matthew was MVP of that base defense. He was just chain stunning everybody, stealing everything, staying alive, fighting to the last minute.
The veteran of the squad of Thunder Awaken, the only man on that roster who has been here in this position before at a TI.
And that matters. When you're in these types of situations at TI, experience counts for a lot. The nerves start getting to you. These players are feeling the intensity. You're playing the Grand Magus. Show up or go home, right? There's not a more stylish hero in the game. He is making it work.
Ignore that 5% difference. This is a dead even game. 38-31, 12,000 net worth lead for Liquid, but it doesn't mean anything. It's all about the initiation. It's all about whether or not we hit the right black hole, whether we get the right kind of blink infest initiation. Who's got buyback, who doesn't right now? Let's most of Thunder without a buyback.
This is about Roshan at this point. Aegis is huge for Liquid, dealing with the black holes, and of course getting the second life when you don't have buyback, huge for Thunder. There's a gem in the pit. I assume it's Liquid's by the vision it's giving.
There's a DD3 for the taking. Anybody know? Rolling Thunder forward side, trying to fish. Bakaz was real scared of getting caught. Understandably so. He cannot afford, I mean, he's so close to getting the buyback gold that he needs.
I mean, he's running a static cap. So he is very worried about getting jumped. This is not the ideal item for, neutral backpack carry at 50 minutes, but if it saves him in the jump and he gets cheese off, that's the idea. And it might be able to turn it around. He just needs to survive long enough for Black Hole to come in, pray for no bashes. Tough Thunder can turn these engagements around. I think Liquid is feeling pretty good right now. They still have 4 minutes, no buyback on Enigma, no buyback on Rubik. The other ones have come up for Thunder, but Liquid have all the vision control, control of the pit, control of the runes. Strength will link up on Mickey, pushing level 28 here.
See the gem dropped in the Roshan pit. They want to know the moment that Roshan is up.
Oh yeah.
We'll see in a second here whether or not it's going to be an early one or a late one. I feel like a late one maybe favors Thunder Awaken, gives them a little bit more time to farm up their buybacks or get into a position where those cooldowns are in place. So they still have 3.5 minutes and 4 minutes left on the Enigma and the Rubik respectively.
Man, it feels like so long what we were talking about is Zai gonna get to items. And somehow he's here, and not only that, he's level 25, which means low cooldown on this swashbuckle.
And he can finish up the Octarine if he wants, so even lower.
You go down to that 4-second swashbuckle with the basher. Even if you miss one or you throw one, Enigma goes in, suddenly he's getting bashed up again. Just becomes way too obnoxious to play the fights for these Thunder cores. And Thunder, 2 buybacks for 3 minutes. They don't care. Time to smoke out and make something happen.
Yeah, they don't know when Roshan is going to spawn, so they can't afford to just wait inside their base. They kind of do need to get out there, get active.
All about the vision, all about the jump. Matthew leading the way with 1 observer ward, Aeon Disc and Lincoln's.
See what he finds. He's going to throw a ward up on the high ground. Spotted. He sees Zai. They go for the initiation. They're trying to grab him. They get the telekinesis at the same time. They win for Insania, but Insania gets the sinister gaze onto Dark Mago. They get out the BKB. The 2-man spear. The 2-man supports. They're both going to fall in this initiation. As Mickey is stuck on the high ground, not able to do a whole lot. Mataman playing up. They have the black hole. Zai, can he stop it? No. Buckle mounted up. Now he's been pulled in. He gets caught. He gets speared. Thunder getting the combination to be able to bring down Liquid. But they haven't dealt with Mickey just yet. He gets another Wind Waker. He blinks forward. He wants to take this. Sacred on the side. Malefice him. They're trying to keep this Leshrac at bay. But he just continues to go for it. This Zai, he's rolling through and stopping all of these cores from dealing the damage, allowing Mataman to follow it up and get the kill onto the bars. Now he gets on top of Sacred as well. Sacred, he's going to be caught by the bashes. But coming back in. He's cleaning up. He's cleaning up. He's trying to finish off Boxy. But Infest, a little bit of heal down the chain of the site. The Blood Earth is going to come in, and it's not enough because he falls. 2 dead on the side of Thunder without buyback.
The buyback from Liquid with on the dire outpost, just way too powerful. Did they use all of them there? That was
Every single buyback. Thunder, I mean, they basically won that fight. They won the first part of that fight. The problem is they're playing. That's a problem, right? When you win these late game fights, you're almost at a disadvantage because they're going to get to use their buybacks and finish off the fight.
Thunder knew that though, and I still think it's the correct decision. You have to take that fight at some point. Start to wear through these buybacks. It's a dire outpost penta buyback situation of 5v10. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, they played this fight amazing. Double spears, the black hole, trying to finish this Leshrac, but I mean, Mickey is just an absolute beast in these engagements. He lives so long. They're trying to save him for last, stall him up with some control. But Kaz is just going ham. He got cheese off in that fight at the perfect time as well. But again, 5v10. Too much manpower in the bank for Liquid, and now they're going to take it to Thunder's base here, push the issue, no buyback on for 1 minute on Enigma.
Now, what do you do here? I mean, Thunder, they don't want to use this buyback on the Bloodseeker. Are they willing to give up Megas? It looks like it. They say Megas, not a big deal. Buybacks are what is going to put us in a position to win this game if we win one fight against Liquid.
I would agree with that sentiment. When there's no buybacks on Liquid's side, you win one fight, you win the game. The problem is in the Megas, Liquid doesn't have to take that fight. Yeah, they can wait out the buybacks if they really want to. I don't think it's an incorrect play here. Let the creeps do the work. It's almost impossible for Thunder to make a move in the next 5 minutes while you wait for those cooldowns. I don't think you have to rush this if you're Liquid. You have 20k, you have the whole map. You're going to see everybody in their base for Thunder. Their lane shove is okay, but it's nothing crazy to write home about. Tough position for Thunder to be in, especially for players who are not TI veterans. This game is winnable. It's not going to be easy.
What does Thunder do here? Some interesting decisions to be made. Do they try and push out the lanes as much as they can and force an engagement even into an Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher Shard, knowing that Liquid doesn't have buybacks and they do? But if you're pushed that aggressively, even if you have buybacks, how do you use them correctly? You need like boots of travels and stuff, which a Bloodseeker doesn't have. So they may just be locked into a situation where they're just going to hold the Ancient. They're just going to sit inside their base and wait for 60 minutes and see if Liquid are going to be patient enough to wait for their buybacks, or whether they're going to try and get greedy and find a pickoff somewhere and end the game.
You know, Cap, if there's one team in Dota and one player I think about that's been in a lot of mega creep type situation, probably Insania with Liquid.
I already knew where you're going.
I feel like there's a lot of games this guy has played, especially with this team, where he's been in these situations. I think Liquid's going to wait for the buybacks.
I think that all that experience is going to catch up to you.
I don't think they're in a rush here. I think this game is going to go on a little bit longer, especially in Dota nowadays. You hit that 60-minute marker, the neutrals are your friends, right?
Sure.
Thunder stuck in their base. They're going to lose a neutral lane of advantage here. It just becomes monumental. You get the next Aegis, you have all your buybacks up. Thunder's going to have their buybacks in. Honestly, their heroes are quite good in a base defense situation. You have Enigma pushing towards his refresher, trying to get the double black hole. It's going to be a long way away. Yeah, Thunder choosing to forego that base defense and try and look for something here. I respect this play, but this is like an impossible smoke to hit.
I don't have a stats man to confirm this, but I'll just say it. I'm pretty sure Insania has lost the most mega creep games.
Sounds like you're trying to cast or curse him right
player,
here.
you know? So they're going to play it safe right now. Thunder actually are the ones going to go for a smoke out. See if we can find something here. See if Liquid are going to slip up at all, but
there's no way. No way you give anything to him here.
Not finding anything just yet.
Now, if Thunder is out of their base like this, you're happy to take that fight if you're Liquid.
Yeah. And they may just get somebody caught here.
Boxy running in.
Yeah, Boxy's free. The three-man avalanche. And maybe you follow up from the Twitch Buffalo as well. But Black Hole does manage to catch the two of them. There's no follow-up damage though. Makaz is only just now showing up to the fight. It's a little bit too late for that one. He nearly gets a pistol bladed. Boxy managed to get out the cheese, but a left leg, the top of it, it's gonna fall. 2 minutes dead. Mickey, he needs to be able to get some heals up. He's got a minute on the Aegis, so he's gonna die here. Come back soon. The chain frost starts bouncing around. Toss is over. The chain frost, the double chain frost. He's healing pressure, but Makaz is healing up, but that toss has come in. Boxy finishes it off with a buyback. It's coming into play now. Thunder have that extra life where Liquid do not. Insania's gonna fall. That's gonna be 3 dead with no buybacks, and everybody is alive on Thunder. The buyback comes into play for Thunder. They've got an opportunity here. Can they get to Liquid's base? Can they do anything with this opportunity? Remember, long time ago, they went for the throne. They're no tier 4s. If they get to that base, that throne is very exposed.
They have Glyph, and that's it. How much is Thunder going to try and push this? They know there's no buybacks for 2 minutes. It's a long window here. 3 heroes down. I don't know if they can get there fast enough, but if they do, that base dies very fast, as you said. I still can't believe that 3-man Dream Initiation turned into such a nightmare for Liquid. It looked like the absolute beautiful catch.
These two do not have buyback, but they know they have to make some sort of move. They're going to try and get the initiation before they get inside the base. They are also killing Creep Wave at the same time. Leshrac in trouble. Spirit up against the tree. They try and get the toss away to the side, but the rupture ensures that they fall. Another 2 minutes.
Is that the game?
That might just be the game. Thunder making their way into the Liquid base. Nobody to stop them. Panda's going to make sure. Throne stays. He cut it in. He's cutting the way. Don't let that creep go. That creep, it's coming in. It's going to be Liquid's end. The backdoor protection is down. Thunder on top of the throne. Nothing is stopping them now. Push away Boxy. The Glyph will slow things down for a couple of seconds, but it doesn't matter. Stay in that arena. Stay where you are. This throne is going down here and now. Thunder, are you taking game 1 against Liquid? Unfucking-believable.
My God, this team, how do they win from that position? How do they win? It's an almost impossible scenario. They cannot hit a smoke. They cannot hit the fight. Somehow that smoke backfires on Liquid insanely hard. They get caught in a base fight where Bakaz has buyback and gets to come back in. They were 2 minutes off buybacks for everybody in that engagement. What a demoralizing way to lose, honestly. They are going to have to mentally reset from that game and get back there. But if you're Thunder, oh man, you are feeling yourselves after that victory, snatching it from the literal claws of defeat.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just watched something special. There are just not mega creep comebacks at TI on the main stage like this. It's only happened once or twice. And it happened again here for Thunder Awakened. They take the 1-0 against Team Liquid. We still have a series to play out here, so let's check in with our panel.
Thank you very much, Cap and SVG. Yes, 1 for the history books, and I have no idea
how we're going to break this down. There was so much going on. That game had absolutely everything. As Thunder Awaken do take match 1 over Liquid. T, Lizard, Sheepo, just go. Just say things.
This was a beautiful game of like cat and mouse between can Sacred find the initiations on his black holes, was Zai in position to cancel them with his Swash and Basher, and like the entire game, like Liquid would find these opportunities where they get big kills, then turn around Thunder Awaken because they'd be in choke point because Liquid overextend, and then they'd use the arena, double arena black holes, and that was the story of the entire game. You fast forward to the very end, Liquid, they have buybacks in 2 minutes, they could chill, farm up, they have mega creeps, but they go for a big fight, they try and get the win quicker than just being a little bit more patient, and they get punished for it.
I feel like they had so many opportunities, but they're too eager. They're too eager to end the game. They're too eager to take this one extra fight, right, Sheep? Always.
Yeah, like we saw it in the base where Tiny's just suddenly near the fountain, people were just dying, like the bot. I think maybe they took that fight on the idea that, yes, we can definitely cancel this black hole with our Pango, but he missed the Swash, and it's really hard because like the angle is so weird when you're trying to dodge the extra range of this black hole as well. And I really can't fault like this high tension. You saw how both teams were just kind of slipping up in little different ways.
That's what happened. Like Liquid historically has been the team, Cap knows, Blitz knows, they've been the team that struggles to end games because they're very methodical, they're very disciplined, they just let it go for 100 minutes. They don't care. Like they're gonna have all their buybacks. But this time around, when it's so important, they go in, they take that one fight, and everything goes wrong.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, Zai, so much was on his shoulders there just because he didn't have the best start. He was itemizing away from the Basher, eventually got the Basher, and then it was kind of him versus Sacred, and Zai had to hit and interrupt, and he was doing a great job, and that's how Liquid obviously got their lead. But we have to give a lot of props to Sacred as well, because we saw him actually, go into the lower bracket. He didn't have a great game on Tide, but this looks like, Sacred's here to play because his timings were phenomenal on the Enigma.
Yeah, 100%. And also the rest of Thunder Awaken, right? The fact that you have them buying, multiple blinks, just playing around these longer drawn-out fights, and when Liquid would be super aggressive, they were quick to react and be able to punish when Liquid's like, wait, you're not meant to be here. Like, when you're against Mega Creeps, some teams there would be like, guys, just retreat, they're too aggressive. Like, no, they know that they're strong there. They know that they can just capitalize on it. They're timing buybacks, they're doing it. So immense props at this team at TI, their first TI for some of them, have the mental strength to be able to keep themselves mentally in the game the entire time.
Yeah, and talking about mental strength, a lot of these teams really do look for their coaches to kind of, pep them up. And I think Blitz now will be having to talk to his team between match 1 going into match 2. But Blitz, the coach, actually did have a little pep talk before game 1. Let's see what he had to say.
I really believe in our lineup, guys. I didn't come all this way from fucking lower last chance qualifiers to all of this to lose here like this, guys. Please, really fucking feel it right now. Energy and focus. Give Lasse everything that you have, yeah? Let's empower each other's ideas and let's do stuff together.
Let's finish!
Yes.
Let's finish!
For the Konami or whatever.
Yeah, didn't come here all the way from the lower bracket to lose this way, but unfortunately the way they lost was just not waiting 2 more minutes.
It can't be like that. And
I have to be a little bit...
It's high pressure, right? In the moment, like, you see an opportunity, you try and go for it. Like, Dota's a game where one little difference in a spell, you can change everything, right? So guess we can't lean on that for too much, but yeah, it's
what's changing everything.
Do you not feel that if they just waited the 2 minutes, the game was secure?
I would
Not
feel
secure.
Not secured, but it was definitely...
Would have lost like that.
Right. It was favored for them. Like,
I mean, they had the outpost. They could have had buybacks. They
had
were
everything.
farming. Yeah. Sure, the team fight's going to be hard, and there was a very low cooldown on the Enigma with the black hole, if I'm
like 80 seconds or something.
Yeah, so... But still.
The Thunder Awaken, I mean, they played so well. They were bold, they were brave, they took the right fights. Like, the fact that they got those 5 buybacks from Liquid in the first place was because they were able to seek out the right engagement, and they didn't have to use their buybacks in that fight either, right? So one of the main reasons they won the game there at the end is because Picasso had his buyback. Yeah.
Well, this has been an adrenaline match, and to calm us down, we need a soothing voice. So let's head over to Purge.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it. Start things up. We have a little bit of an update from the Doppler radar at the moment. We have huge, powerful Western European drafts that are washing over the region, really dominating everything. Consider taking shelter, limit exposure, maybe get on some airplanes if things go really bad. This is really tough timing because residents are still reeling from the previous cold front. It's resulted in a handful of false starts and countless disappointments across the region. We can also jump over to the 5-team forecast here. First off, we're going to have Aster overperforming expectations. They're doing great, but unless they win TI, there's going to be clouds in the sky, and that's going to really take a lot away from their accomplishments. So, on the other hand, Liquid having an amazing run. I think they're doing great, but they've had to keep eliminating their friends. Big downers there. Thunder Esports in their element. Everyone else is having a really rough time, but it's great for them. They're ready for this. They're ready, doing well. Everything's going great. And Thunder Awaken, off to a great start. Sunny, perfect day. Even if they lose here, they're already exceeding expectations. So until now, let's jump over to our reporter. He is on site right now. Let's check in with him. Neil?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Purge. Well, I'm here at the foot of Mount Velusius. It's a damn shame. You know that in years past, we often faded banners here at TI of all the teams that were eliminated. Here, unfortunately, we are now sacrificing them to the gods. As you can see, Entity has already fallen. OG off to the side. Boom off in the distance. Is a damn shame what happens to all these teams. I'm hot. I'm cold. I'm sad. It's heartbreak. It's just sadness all across the globe. LGD has fallen also. And dare I say I might see a Liquid off in the sky. I have to go, my friend. I have to go. But good luck back in the studio.
Incredible reporting from the ground by Neil Tsunami. We'll get an update from him later. Hopefully he makes it through. Back to you, James.
Thank you very much, Purge. Yes, a lot of TI weather here, and the teams are doing their best to weather the storm. But we'll see if Liquid will be able to come back in Game 2. But before we get them back onto stage, let's check into the arena with Slacks.
Hello out there. The arena's absolutely on fire after that game. It was insane stuff. We're going to get through this real quick. In one word, summarize that last game.
Heart attack inducing.
Okay, that's technically a hyphen. That works for me. One word.
Madness!
Madness indeed from this arena. But anyway, let's take a deep breath. We have to get to a Game 2. So, to calm you guys down, I'm going to send you over to some more of our finalists for the short film contest. We've got 2 fantastic SFMs coming your way. A little bit of multiverse, a little bit of Mega Creep comeback. You might have seen something like that before. Let's take a look.
The battle resumes.
welcome back. Yeah, please support the amazing people that have entered the short film contest. You can go onto Steam to do some voting there, and I'm sure we've got a little bit more to come, but they are available for you to take a look and enjoy in your spare time. So I believe the teams are ready to come back out for game 2. Let's get going. Panel, they're back. Thunder Awaken returning to the stage. They've already done what no South American team has yet done before. They've made it to the top 6. They could be moving on in the top 4, 1 game away. 1 game.
They are just an amazing example of what giving South America more slots will do. The region has developed, the players have gotten stronger, you're seeing all this representation. They're doing amazing. I'm so happy for them, legitimately, just so happy.
They definitely did need some time, same like SCA, right? For these veterans to become those strong position 5s and 4s that can captain the teams. Matthew, a perfect example. They needed a little bit of time, but once they got it, I believe they'll just become unstoppable. SCA and SA together.
T-Governor, Team Liquid had to go backstage. Blitz was watching the whole thing. Now, he's not that big, but he gives damn good pep talks.
Yeah, he's got a good aura to him. Yeah, this is a game for Liquid at least that losing it, you can shrug it off as that was a bit of a blunder, right? But you can also then go, we just need to reset ourselves mentally. That it's not about Dota anymore right now, in this best of 3, for Liquid at least. It's about getting yourselves back into a position where you can think about the game logically. You're not playing with the heart and the passion and the kind of the dismay of what happened in that first game. Like, a lot of teams, after losing that type of game, they'd rip themselves to shreds going into a game 2. But I feel like Liquid, when you have Blitz and the support staff, Jarek's Jab, the entire team around them, they'll be able to recover and just reset themselves psychologically so that this game 2 isn't going to be some Thunder Awakened masterclass on early game aggression.
And it wasn't, as you say, they didn't really throw something away that was guaranteed, because it didn't always look like Liquid were going to win that match at times.
Well, definitely. They had a ton of clutch moments. If you even think about it, 5 minutes prior to that, they had that amazing Shrine fight where they had all 5 buybacks used. That's not something that you usually do when you're in a full controlling position. I believe that Thunder Awakened, they should be happy about the way that game went, and if they have lost, it might have broken them, but obviously they didn't lose, and the comeback might make them even stronger for game 2.
Sheepo, what do you think these two teams feel about each other in terms of their team fight ability? Do we feel stronger here against our opponent, or do they feel stronger there?
I have always felt much better about the Thunder Awaken early game, and last game was no exception. I think the way that they played around Zai was fantastic. They used their lane swaps. They have this Bloodseeker versus the Pango that ends up happening anyway in the other lanes. They crush him there. He TP's bot. They black hole him, kill him again. He goes back bot. Now they've brought Bloodseeker down there. They rupture him. Like, his game got so gimped, and it's like taking advantage of that, pressuring someone, putting them out of comfort is really effective, and kind of halted Liquid's game a little bit until they were able to get those kind of clutch mid-game fights.
All right, and Lizard, do you see any kind of just glaring differences between the two teams and their play styles?
Well, for me, Liquid was, we might disagree on this, but for me, Liquid was never like that early super skirmishy type of a lineup, type of a team. Later on, they can have amazing team fights. Early on, they can have these skirmishes if they have nasty brood mothers and whatnot. Maybe that's a little bit of a difference. Thunder Awaken definitely striking as a little bit more precise in these early engagements. Also, Bloodseeker, by the way, we mentioned that the hero is great versus Pango, right? In a game such as that one versus Nyx. But just the fact that they got their Bloodseeker was even better. It's full comfort zone for Thunder Awaken.
No, for sure. It's complete comfort zone, and
it's always Bakaz who really gets the last, pick. They really focus around, is he comfortable?
He's a record breaker. Like, he's literally like most average kills in games, highest GPMs. Like, you'd want to give this player those just kind of priority in the draft at least.
Yeah, I think we might even have some information on Bakaz. We'll have to see. We were a little bit more suspenseful with getting into game 2, even though the players were back on stage. I do believe there was a headset change, so it gives everyone a little bit more time to kind of relax and come down. So quite happy about that. But it looks like we are going to be heading over and ready to go into game 2. We'll head over to the Voice of God, and then we're coming back.
Liquid versus Thunder Awaken. Game 2.
Have they reset? Have they calmed down?
I saw Blitz
As you
giggling.
mentioned, sorry, go on.
No, I saw Blitz giggling. He looked happy.
Really? All right. But I think, was it T or Lizard, one of you mentioned they just have to just go in and be logical again. You know, get rid of the emotions and just focus on the bans and picks.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing when in tournaments, a lot of people, when they're watching at home, they just assume that every game is just about, oh, you lost this game, let's just blame the draft. You know, they go to game 2, changes. Like, Dota is such a game about the people you're playing it with and how you're approaching it. I think, of course, OG just clearly showed that in previous TIs and Spirit as well in their TI run. Like, TI as a tournament is so different to anything else, and of course Liquid, because they've played the last chance, the groups, and they get here. A loss like this, surely it's something that you can laugh about, as you see Blitz being a bit more casual. He's taken off the jacket again.
It just got serious.
Yeah,
the guns are out.
The guns are out, yeah. And Tiny is out as well. Dawnbreaker plus Tiny. This time around, Liquid do not want to snatch that hero. Instead, they just completely eliminated two of the most important heroes to eliminate against Thunder Awaken. But you do let the Marcy go through Lashrak, however. Mickey, he literally single-handedly brought that last game back into...
Yeah, the mid-game was all about
Mid-game was all about him.
The Lashrak, it was way too much of a problem, in my opinion, and I'm so on board with this ban. I now just want to see how Liquid respond to this Marcy, because other teams have played around with the Lich, some have played around with the Crystal Maiden. We've also seen the Sven with his Warcry giving armor. Like, these 3 supports are the ones that I see the most in response to Marcy. I like the Enigma pickup though. I just think it's so reliable in lane and Tusk. I mean, it's not a defensive way of playing against Marcy, but it's definitely a very offensive lane and a good way to rotate.
It's also the big comfort heroes, right? This is Zai on Enigma, Boxy on Tusk.
Yeah, completely.
Boxy's Tusk. Actually, we talk about the early game from Thunder Awaken, but Boxy's Tusk has destroyed some teams' early games.
Think about the Entity series the other day. Even though Liquid lost that game, the Clockwork sniper lane of Entity, it had like 4, 5, if not 6 deaths in laning phase just because of how Boxy was calculating his charge, doing the math, getting the damage in.
Think about this morning's game versus OG. Puryuragi went to the jungle 5 minutes in because of Boxy and Broodmother, right? So overall, definitely can have a ton of impact early on.
We see the Gyro coming out here on the main stage for the second time today. So taking a page out of Asta's book.
Another answer to the Enigma in the laning stage, right? But I'm wondering, like, we did witness a Rubik in that last game. Is that something that's possible here? Because Tusk can be a little bit scary, right? Like, he gets on top of you, eliminates you, but you are playing into an Enigma. Stealing that black hole could come in handy.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where Rubik's still prevalent, Silence is still decent. The bans right now from Liquid, they're respecting the big picture of Thunder Awaken, but they might have to consider some type of ban to potentially cover this.
I think Matthew is the one that prefers playing Marcy on their team. Otherwise, we could have seen something like a Nyx as well, which it didn't get banned this game. But looking at Panda's hero pool, he has really enjoyed the Crystal Maiden. It might just be that they pulled out again because he plays, we've talked about it in previous panels, he loves save heroes, and if he's not playing save this tournament, he's been playing Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, one hero that got banned out versus the Enigma last game, it was because of Insania, but Winter Wyvern got banned out. Is that something that Panda can play as well?
Panda can, yeah.
Decent versus Enigma can fly over the shards as well.
He actually has a very long relationship with Winter Wyvern. He used to play it, but like the pressure of getting the good ults off, it was too much, so he actually just completely stopped playing it for a really long time.
That pressure gets to all of us.
And he's not played it at TI, but this is a decent game for it.
I was going to say, he finally got over that and started playing it again back towards the later end of this year, and it is something in his repertoire now.
Toxic relationship.
I mean, my God, my boy. I mean, I want him to play to his comfort, though. I think if it's something like, I don't want that doubt to kind of creep in of like, can I play this here? It's
okay, so they're switching things up a little bit here. Enigma, I was thinking about this. We saw Tusk and Brood in the morning. We were gonna see it again. And what is this? Enigma 5, right? Like, do you rotate it to a 5?
That's the reason why. Gyrocopter earlier today, we saw the Enigma into the Gyrocopter into Enigma lane because of course, the flat cannon killing off the Eidolons. Pakaz is the player that's played it the most time. This is now his 3rd Gyrocopter game and 6 so far at this TI. He's the one that popularized this hero for other teams to copy. And yeah, Liquid, they're like, okay, let's put the Enigma down a couple slots, pick Brood. Maybe if you're Thunder Awaken, this Gyrocopter also gets potentially demoted a little bit in regards to support.
That's what
to
worries me, right?
Finding the flexibility.
I want Panda to be on his comfort. I don't want him to be shoved on a Gyrocopter that he doesn't feel good on.
Do you actually think that it needs to be relegated?
It doesn't need to.
Yeah, can't you just go the same way OG did it, but maybe a little bit more precise with the Snapfire here? You pick it up. You have a way to get over the shards with the gyro, and you actually are strong enough to match up in that lane.
As long as their position 5 provides kill threat on the spiders when Brood hits 6, so then Gyro plus this 5 can just hold hands the entire time throughout laning phase, and then that kind of post-laning phase window where Brood tries to take your tower, I think they'll be in a pretty decent spot to take a fight with this Brood.
Hold hands as in IO? Probably not happening, right? They go with the Disruptor instead.
It's going to be an aggressive lane. Like, this is going to be, when they enter it, it's going to be Thunder Strikes, Missiles, just really trying to get this Brood a little bit out of lane early on.
Yeah, we just spam her right into lane. And
10 seconds.
The only thing I'm looking at though is you have no one that holds the lane later down the line, and some teams have completely ignored this aspect of Brood, but it always has these downsides. You can pick heroes that fight and don't care about Brood and just try and take the fight to the other places of the map, but she will take your tier 2 for free if you do that, and when you lose that, your map becomes smaller and smaller and your net worth really starts to shrink.
Well, they get that extra wall, that extra protection in the Tidehunter that you can actually position against the Brood in any lane. Post-laning stage, he's just going to sit his watermelon ass in front of the Brood and defend the tower forever.
Amen to that.
10 seconds.
There is obviously slight problems with that he's also your key team fight component, and you want to be able to bring him to your fights. So if he leaves that lane at all to go for a smoke move, Brood's just going to pressure tier 2 tower, and he can't defend every tower, everything, and do all the fights at the same time. So it is a lot of burden on his shoulders. And you as well, like Tide, it gives you stun, but he's not a lot of damage. Right now, like Gyro needs a lot of items to have a lot of damage as well, and Broodmother is going to rush this Wraith Pack that she's going to have around 13 to 15 minutes, and that's going to boost everything.
Yeah, Ursa was an option, an obvious one as well, right? Like a hero that can get on top of the Gyro later on, but also a hero that can deal with
Secret's response as well when Sacred played the Tidehunter in the upper bracket. He was against his Ursa lane. It didn't do too well in regards to the game, and this is going to be Liquid's response. When you have Broodmother in one lane forcing heroes to rotate there, Enigma sacrificing top lane to keep Ursa at a healthy position, the farm will naturally come to Liquid's side, so it's more on Thunder Awaken. How are they going to make these early game shifts in their hero placement to be able to offset what should be a very kind of playing itself style of laning setup that Liquid have right now?
And when it comes to the last picks, we're looking at the mid laners, right?
Yeah, super active requirement for Thunder Awaken's last pick. Dark Margot needs to be on this, like, super high damagey style hero to just connect the dots right now between their heroes. They have initiation with Marcy, they have kind of team fight protection with Tidehunter, but they just need that extra little bit of something to put fear into Liquid's kind of early aggression.
Is Puck too weak of an active hero just because of the spell damage?
It's not enough damage, I think.
It's still solid a bit with the Gyro, right? Like it could work, but also teams do like to get on top of Brood easily, and Storm Spirits are...
I was going to say Batrider might need to be considered a little bit here.
Yeah.
Some Batrider Thunder Awaken BTB, you just rotate to side lanes, and it just could complicate the game.
With the Quab being banned out, that's probably what's on Blitz's mind as well, right? Like Quab being banned out, Batrider instantly comes into one of the possibilities. But if Bat gets picked up, then you can go with the Storm perhaps for Liquid. That's an option. One of the ways to deal with the Bat in the laning stage and later on as well.
I don't need a team, like I don't need someone that makes plays on Thunder's lineup right now. I just need someone that can hold the tower fight. Like if Liquid want to come mid and push, for example, I want them to be able to fight around it. I just need damage. Like I'm so concerned about this Wraith Pack timing on Brood. And then it's bad.
That's the Batrider.
I mean, maybe they could opt for like a Kunkka or something, and he goes for this physical damage, but it's really the options are much less because Thunder also banned out a lot of the heroes that
just go with the Spirits. I feel like Spirits are always your safest choice. Like they give you a little bit of everything, and you can defend the towers perhaps with the Tidehunter standing in front of them, and then Ember is the one that will bring the damage and also gives you that ability to breach the backlines, get on top of Brood.
Trying to think of the Liquid last pick now.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, they have Ursa who's going to match up well into Gyro. deal with Tide in lane. Ember, I guess they're lacking lockdown outside of the black hole, so maybe just something with a little extra catch.
They could go
Who
for
do you guys prefer draft-wise? So far, I know it's not finished, but like, do you feel comfortable for Team Liquid going into their elimination match?
I feel like their draft is a little wonkier, just off of that Enigma being a position 5, most likely being the position 5. They go with the puck.
Choose your hero.
Nice. They have a lot of lockdown now.
They needed a way to basically Thunder Awaken. They picked this Ember Spirit because if Tide has a bad lane, you need an extra core to help cope in these earlier fights, and they want to bring numbers. Ursa needs more time to come online. So,
no, sorry to interrupt you.
No worries.
No, it's okay. The players are ready. This could be Team Liquid eliminated. Let's check in with Thunder Awaken as we go to Avo for a pre-match interview.
I'm here with the coach from Thunder, Vintage. Vintage, sé que anteriormente ustedes confiaban mucho en el Morphling de Pacas. ¿El Gyrocopter está al mismo nivel? ¿Hay pura fe en ese Gyrocopter?
Actualmente tenemos 100% win rate con Gyro, así que esperamos no perder la racha hoy.
He says, actually, right now we have 100% win rate with Gyrocopter, so it's going to be good for our streak today. Now, one final scream for the Thunder Boys. How can people in the audience support you? Perdón. Un grito final para los chicos. Un grito final para los chicos. ¿Cómo te pueden apoyar la gente del público, amigo?
Respeten SA, mierda.
Respect SA, you shits. That's what he said.
Absolutely wonderful. Fighting words going into a game 2, very much deserved after that performance in game 1. Because Mega Creep comebacks on the main stage, right? EG versus eHome, Secret versus Mineski. Now we have Liquid versus Thunder Awaken. It's got to take some serious mental resilience to come back after a Mega Creep comeback like that and lose. If you're Liquid, it's going to take a whole lot. Meanwhile, Thunder are going to be feeling themselves, right?
I mean, this is a test of team fortitude right here. There's no other way around it. Liquid has... Some of these guys were denied TI last year. They come in this year. They're on the ropes in LCQ. They make it through those groups in pretty good position. They go through this bracket. They're in the lower bracket. They're on the brink of elimination so many times, and yet they are still here for a reason. The mental fortitude of this team is out of control. On the flip side, Thunder... They are looking for the highest position ever for an SA team. That is why they want that respect. This is 11 years in the making for this game right here of SA Dota getting to this point. Can they push their ticket? Or are we going to go to game 3 where Liquid will test them?
30 seconds.
Looks like more team fight is in store because once again, Tide Hunter Enigma would not be a TI game without the big boys.
We're going to have the big team fight spells all around in this game. And it's going to be an exciting one. To see whether or not Liquid, if this journey has been too long and too hard for them, that game 1 demoralized them, or whether or not they're going to bounce back. EG versus eHome, we had that probably the most iconic Mega Creep comeback game.
For sure.
And that was going into game 2. I mean, that game 2 really wasn't that close. EG,
no, it's hard.
Stomped.
You lose to Megas. It's like, well, if we couldn't beat them then, how do we get there? I mean, I was there at that tournament, and that series gave me a heart attack then. I think this game is right up there.
On the other side of things, we had Secret versus Mineski. That was another game 1 Mega Creep comeback where Mineski had the game 1. They had it absolutely won.
It was locked.
And then they go into the throne area. They lose it. Secret go for a desperate push in. They do manage to take it. But they go into game 2. They bounce back, and Mineski actually takes it. And sort of a iconic what if, what if they could have gotten that 2-0. So there's 2 different sides to that Mega Creep comeback and going into game 2.
I mean, you can do it. You can come back. It's not impossible. Nothing is impossible at TI. All bets are off, especially when the pressure gets up like this. We were playing for top 4. It's every player's dream for years and years to get here. You're not going to get deterred simply because the Mega Creeps got to your head. That means game 2, already off the bat. We have a Thunder draft that is designed to deal with the summons coming out from Liquid. And Liquid trying to pick up the pace here. They have a very fast tempo lineup. Enigma Brood, they can play the map very quick, and Ursa can take advantage of any pickoffs. Transitioning into quick Roshan. Roshan number 1, Roshan number 2 with the shard. Exactly what Matumba is looking for in this game.
Now the Gyrocopter
flip script almost.
Oh yeah, Absolutely. The gyrocopter that we've been seeing outside of today, we've seen a lot of times being picked up, counterpicked to try and deal with the offlane Enigma. It's one of the better carries to address that hero. Instead, the Enigma switched over to the support position. Zai, as a Broodmother, do you feel like that gyrocopter addresses Broodmother as well as it does the Enigma?
I mean, also, this was a matchup I thought we would have seen a bit more this tournament. I know it used to be very good back in the day. Like, the missile gives you vision. You can hunt them down in the trees. The flak to deal with the spiderlings. I imagine this matchup still has to be good for those same reasons. But, of course, Brood is building utility nowadays. You're going for the auras. You're going pipe right back AC type build. This can help mitigate a lot of the AoE damage from Gyro, so I'm not sure how this matchup exactly goes nowadays. I'm sure Pakaz is going to have a fine early game here. There's no way he's going to get pressured too hard on this lane, I think. I say that, and we've seen Boxy have some crazy good shards and kills on the lane.
Oh, first blood still open. Matumba Man really wants it here, but the damage coming out from the Disruptor dissuades him from going for it, and he's going to play underneath his tower here. We're currently looking at a situation where I think Thunder is walking away with 2 lane wins, right? We've already talked about the Gyrocopter. We've got the Ember Spirit versus Puck matchup in mid, which Dark Mago's doing very, very well, 14-4 right now. And it means Liquid kind of needs to get a big W out of that top lane, right? They kind of need to shut down that Titan.
I mean, they need to make sure that Matumba keeps farming on this lane. There's a lot of harassment come out of this lane. Disruptor tied with the Gush build. They did this on one of the earlier series versus Secret, where they put the Maiden up here just to guarantee that this tied Ursa matchup does not go poorly for them.
The shard, it landed. You said Boxy's been on point with this one, and it almost brings him down here, but Zai actually stumbles a little bit too far forward. Marcy uses her dirty advantage to toss him into the tower. Matumba Man, though, he's having a hard time dealing with this. The Gush and Thunder strikes. They spot him in the trees. They're going to be able to get one more round of Gush, and the last hit comes in. Pandamo takes the first blood.
Better to go to the Disruptor than the Tide, who had to use a lot of his resources to get it.
Oh, what a stun from Matthew on the other side of things. They actually throw out the shard. They're going to try and lock in Matthew. Zai, though, he's not going to survive. Oh, he does. That final shot did not come out from Pakaz in time, and Zai lives through it, so they kill the support. And Pakaz is actually a little bit low, too. Boxy, oh, is he going to cut the wave, or are they going to try and keep Pakaz under the gun here?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to pull it back, reset the equilibrium, make this lane even more awkward for Pakaz. I don't think Pakaz is too sad about getting all that solo XP, but definitely setting Marcy back quite a bit.
Yeah.
Liquid supports having the better exchanges here. Sani also just denying farming up with that Basilius. As long as you don't die early on this support Enigma, you're going to be pretty happy going into the mid game. You can farm a decent amount, scale, perhaps the utility.
Damage. Matumba Man is going to have to hop out here.
Yeah, this is the downside. Enigma is not helping you much in these trade situations. Matumba's feeling it right now.
Yeah. He's going to live for now. The Gush. It's up. He can pop it. He's going to be able to take away the salve. That is just as good as killing him, honestly.
Yeah, even better. Now Matumba has to tank all these waves into the tower, too. He's missing range creeps. Rough CS start for him. Meanwhile, Dark Mago, he has been owning mid in this matchup.
Yeah.
He's up almost 400 net worth, decent amount of CS. So his Ember favored for the lane, and of course, once you get into that mid game, the Coil has a really big window where you can punish this Ember Spirit. That's what Liquid's going to look to do. Big question to me is, do they have the damage fall off with the Coil? Like, Enigma is not going to provide much for it, and it kind of comes down to Boxy, which is why this start is super important for him.
And on top of Pakaz, they're going to try and disrupt some of the damage coming out from that battery with the Snowball. Zai life stealing a decent amount. They got to keep their distance from this barrage.
That's level 2. He's putting the points into the magic damage, not going the flak, because, of course, no spiders till later
This
on.
rotation, this is going to maybe catch him out. He's not level 6. They want the kill at his eye.
Didn't get the chain on the Brood?
No, he didn't. It said they're just going to have to be content with the kill on Boxy. Not what they wanted, but at least they get something. And he does get him to level 6.
Zai still has full wand up as well. I'm not sure he would have gone down anyway.
Look at it. He's going to stick around. He's going to leave a remnant.
Yeah.
Wonder if Zai has spotted that remnant.
This is an interesting move. He TP'd to mid, so he's not going to base to refill. He is trying to bait out the overextension bottom so he can go back and flank them again. Very interesting move from Dark Mago. Especially kill the mid catapult first, too.
Yeah.
He'll sacrifice the rune for this. Regen into Mikkei's hands, but Liquid has to think about this bottom. I also wonder if it's just a backup plan. I don't think Thunder want to get... If they don't want to feed more kills to this Brood Tusk lane.
Very dangerous duo. Let's check in on that top lane here as how's that Ursa doing now? Sitting at 2,100 net worth, so the Tidehunter is kept him pressured, kept pretty close. You said it, Enigma really doesn't provide too much right here, right? The Kraken Shell against Malphus and the summons.
Yeah, it's not an off-laner ideal for Enigma to kill. I think Thunder's going to be happy to just keep both cores low net worth on this lane. Yeah. Especially if you can give extra XP to the Tidehunter, because he is getting denied a little, right? That is the power of Enigma here. Wouldn't be surprised to see Pandamu think about some stacks as well. You have Tide Gyro. You got to be thinking about these Ancients.
Yeah, certainly. Trying to take as many of the hard camp creeps as possible. Oh, TP to bottom lane. They're going to make that move. Here comes Matthew. Two-man stun. Very nice. They're going to turn around and try and kill Matthew. And might be able to get him, too. The snowball's actually going to go over and hit the gyrocopter on top of that. He wants to kill on Boxy, and they're going to be able to glimpse it. Get it here. Mickey's going to show up with a two-man coil. They might be able to kill both, but here comes the Ember Spirit. Can they finish off Bakaz in time, or is Dark Mago going to be able to shoo him away? Doesn't get the chains. Only lands on creeps there. And he's going to be able to protect his gyrocopter. The all-important Bakaz carry will be safe.
You can see how much Thunder's thinking about these turnaround bottoms. They do not want to let this brute get out of control too early. They don't want to let him abuse Bakaz, who doesn't want to have to buy too much regen.
Missed the stun, but they get the slight chain. With the damage on Rocket Barrage, they got him. Mickey was going to be able to come back in eventually, but it's Thunder who struck first. The gyrocopter still dies, though, so a one-for-one trade-off. Mago, they have got it glimpse. No snowballs, so Boxy is going to be repositioned to a bad spot. They are getting some decent orb damage in, wearing on him. Boxy with the raindrops, staying alive, going back to the tower. One more slice should be able to finish him off. He actually gets silenced. He's going to have to dive in. This is snowball dodge. It goes off. He goes back in, throws out the shard. Boxy will eventually die, but now Dark Mago has been put into a position where he may be chased down. His Zai's going to try and run him down. He has no more mana. Dark Mago, the orb's going to catch up to him, and he's going to fall underneath the tower. Bakaz is now here, though, and Mickey has already used his jump. He's already used his phase shift as well. An orb is coming up in a second. He's going to throw it over to the side. Phase shift out. Double kill there. Insania now showing up with a Malphus at the top of the coil. They get on top of the gyrocopter. Bakaz thought he was showing up to clean up on the team fight, but instead it's going to be Zai with the ultra kill.
Liquid putting him to sleep in this bottom lane for dead. Absolute beautiful skirmishing from them in the early game. Insania turning up is just the cherry on top. Extra XP for this Enigma. You'll take it every time. Puts it into a little bit of a tower push, and of course, a lot of those teleports for Thunder are going to be on cooldown now too, so they're going to have to send Tidehunter down here just to defend this. And Bakaz is going to have to make the long walk out of base. Not ideal. Teleport for Dark Mago on cooldown for 70 as well. Liquid got everything out of that engagement they won. And even more so much space for this Ursa on top now, right? Matumba gets to catch up. He gets free solo XP because Enigma went bottom. A dream scenario in this early game for Liquid.
Oh, they got to be careful here. This is Broodmother territory. You're crazy to come out here. Matthew, he's going to be chased down by the spiders. He will eventually become one. If Zai gets his way, the last web, the chase underneath the tier 2s, the armor and the regen is not enough to protect him.
Mother comes indeed, and this game it's accelerating fast. Remember, this Liquid draft, it can convert on the kills very easily. But once Matumba gets lifesteal.
He's routed Pandamu. Matumba Man there on the side is going to be able to easily clean up.
Glimpse to help Matumba farm.
Yeah,
it's early game not going Thunder's way at all. Liquid striking back. Mega Creep comeback be damned. Gonna take it to you.
And I think this is exactly the kind of thing you need to be able to wash the taste of that loss in game 1 out of your mouth. You got to be able to take an early advantage taste. Guys, we got this. They're up by 2K right now, but we still have some answers, right? Thunder, we talked about how the Gyrocopter and the Tidehunter are good at being able to address the Broodmother. They're going to be able to hold this safe lane tower for a while, it looks like.
Yeah, Sacred is going to be a rock in this game. It's hard for them to run into him. They have Black Hole to kill him. That's your best tool. The Tusk can do some serious damage with tag team shards. And of course, at some point, Matumba will deal with him through the Kraken. But for right now, he is pretty formidable. Zai's just going to trade farm with him, pull the waves, be happy getting super fat down here, which he is. Full hood coming out. It's going to be an early pipe for this Brood. Coil mid, this is your chance to fuse Ember. Easy.
Big pickup. Ooh, Shark barely off the mark. And Sacred is here as well. Don't want to dive into tier 1 tower with that Ravage ready to go. In fact, they're going to reposition Insania underneath the tower. They're going to pull that Ravage now to ensure 1 kill. Can they get any more? Pandamu.
Zai in the pack, looking for the supports. Maybe?
Or maybe the tower, I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't want to fight that Tide.
Yeah.
No spiders for you.
So he could just go back. I mean, this is all a positioning game, right? Between the Tidebender and the Broodmother. Wherever the tide goes, Broodmother can go somewhere else. And maybe it leaves that bottom lane objective open for the taking. Thunder, though, are going to get aggressive here. It's time to shut down Matumba-Man.
Foxy's read this play. Maybe he can bail him out.
Foxy, he's going to snowball on through. Try and hit him up, but it's just going to be caught inside the Static Storm. A 2-for-1 special for Thunder.
Weren't expecting everybody, maybe. I do think Liquid read that move, but Thunder's brought more people. Very nice conversion for them. This is pretty much the only place on the map they can feel confident fighting, especially when Ravage is down, because Sacred is on Brood duty as much as he can be.
Pull back in.
On him.
Beautiful stun. Nice combination there from Thunder. Getting a third pickup here. They bounce back. I mean, it was a 3,000 net worth lead just moments ago for Liquid. Now down to less than 1K.
Thunder finding the openings in the very few places they can find them. Huge kills coming out. Again, this Brood has free reign over this jungle. They don't have any catch for him at this point in time.
Those spiders. Eventually, they're going to take this tower. You kill them as many times as you want. She'll be back with more.
Nice little pinata right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This game stabilized a lot in that last minute. I could have seen it getting out of control, but now Thunder's going to be able to defend this mid tower for a bit longer, standing on 160 HP. Zai will continue to try and send the spiders behind, backdoor it. This mid tier 1 is super vital to the Ancient control, which they want to keep up for Gyro. Gyro has very specific farming patterns, cannot lose too much early map with this hero, or that flat cannon does not go to work.
I think it's super interesting.
Pushing it to him.
Just now takes this tower, right? It almost seemed like he just left this safe.
That tower's irrelevant, right? Because he's playing behind it anyway. It's just a free goal.
Conceding. Oh, big whip there on the black hole. Doesn't get it. Foxy gonna try and bail him out after that one. The Static Storm just land on 2. They may have gotten the kill on the Marcy, but now the rest of Thunder are here to be able to clean up. 1, 2, 3. Matumba-Man with the enrage. He's gonna try and hop his way out of here, but I know there's no way out of this one. Matumba-Man. He's gonna be chased down by Dark Mago. He turns around, throws a few swipes in the air, but a 1-for-3 exchange to the favor of Thunder.
What a beautiful Static Storm. Liquid just overextending into that. Of course, the black hole missing doesn't do him any favors. Thunder, again, they're always going to bring their carry to these types of engagements. Because will join every fight he feels like he can clean up. Gyro comes down on top. Beautiful chains to keep him in it. The exact fight Thunder won. Didn't even have to expend the Ravage.
Ooh, didn't let him grab that one. Immediately going to be coiled up with Zai coming in from behind. The Ravage should be able to help him out. The Snowball's going to keep that chain stun and a Walrus Punch to finish him off. Now Sacred, well, he's tanky, but he doesn't really have any help. They're just going to run him down here, perhaps. The Glimpse is going to be able to buy him a little bit of space. Zai's having a hard time. Another round of spells coming in for Mickey, though, and the Orb should be enough to get that kill, and maybe even a little bit more. Matt
tasted. He's a god.
Yeah. Beautiful play by Mickey, baiting that one out with the Invis rune he already had in play.
I mean, he's been a monster this series. That first game, he played out of his mind. This one, he has kept them in this early game by a huge degree, finding the coils on this Ember. And, of course, the kills lead to Roshan. Matumba claiming it early here while they're skirmishing.
Zai, he wants to be able to get over here. I don't think they have the webs to be able to fight in this area. And Sania's going to pop over, doesn't have the black hole, just throws out the Malphus, but he's dead. They created the space to get the Roshan. It cost them their captain. But for now, Liquid will be able to retreat with the spoils and Aegis now on the Ursa.
You can see Liquid's idea about this game. If they ever break that triangle, Brood has the other side of the map. There is nowhere for Gyro to go. Yeah. If that happens, Thunder has absolutely no map, and their heroes are not mobile enough to get to the other side or split push this game too heavily yet till Ember's online. So Thunder are always going to bring everybody to defend that triangle. Once they defend it, they can make a move. They're trying to find something down here, but Brood is a stealthy hero. Good luck, my friends.
And that idea of like how they want to be able to close out the map is why it was so important for Thunder to have those little moments where they clawed back that net worth advantage that Liquid built up. Now they have to do it again, though.
Yeah, imagine they didn't get those skirmishes. This game could be over by now.
Yeah.
This is how explosive this Liquid draft is. You lose one skirmish, you lose one fight. You're going to lose 3 to 4K off every one.
Zerazi
looking for the coil.
Clean play, and Dark Mago shows just that. Breaks the aggression of Liquid, jumps to the other side, looking for the power rune. Sadly, it's not there. It's going to be a free pickup for Liquid. Big A gets an illusion rune.
I mean, look at how clumped Thunder's playing. Like, they expect Liquid to fight them. Dark Mago's not in this top lane. He's not split pushing, trying to draw Liquid away from the center of the map. very defensive formation from Thunder here, just trying to protect the Gyro's farm and get him to that Ags where he will really accelerate.
Do you agree with this concept? Do you think it's better to just be playing super conservatively right now?
He's worried about this coil. This coil setup is just so scary for him. He has no defensive capabilities against it. Ravage on cooldown finally up. But you're giving Liquid an opportunity to invade here with force. Everything up, and of course Pipe just online for Zai. This might be the signal. No more Ancients for you, Mr. Gyrocopter. They're testing it.
You go leave the spiders in the ancient area.
Oh, that's nice too.
Block it out. Don't let him get any more stacks up. They're going to try and deal with them, and they actually do manage to kill it, but Marcy's still in the area. So the Heart Cam spawns, but not the Ancients, and that's the more important one.
Don't have to invade it if there's nothing there to invade.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart play from Liquid, and now they're going to find Picard's top.
Big pickup if they can get it. Chain stun while response. Yeah, he's completely surrounded. Thunder have been so worried about dealing and trying to open up this triangle that there was no one to help out Picard. Oh, a rupture into a static storm. That's exactly what they're going to gun for here, but they've got to be careful of the lifesteal. He also has the Aegis, so they don't want to overcommit for this too much, but Tumman's going to fight back. The slow and Dark Mago, he's not able to get very far away with that Remnant, but they will manage to finish out. Oh, he got off the enrage. He's out of mana. He's being burned out. The coil as well on top. Dark Mago falls. There goes the first life of the Ursa. The coil about to finish up. They're going to run down Matthew pretty easily here. The Tidehunter is also very low, and they're going to just use the black hole for it. Commit, get the kill. They have to run away from this tier 2 tower with the glyph going out, but everyone does survive. Unlike
Blink reveal to cement the kill. Of course, Gyro dead that whole time, cannot sway that fight. And Liquid just abusing the map control right now. That kill on Gyro top at the start of all of that, that's because he has nowhere to go. His Ancients get blocked. His jungle's taken over by Brood. Because has no room to play this game right now, and Thunder know it. That's why they're trying to trying to find that 5-on-5. Liquid just playing it super smart, not giving it to him, opting for these skirmish type engagements where their heroes shine. Tumba knows there's no damage for him here. It just takes way too long to bring him down. He has Aegis on the back of it.
And that diffusal, that inhibit, he blows on Dark Mago. Slows down the Remnant. It doesn't go very far. He burns out his mana.
Yeah, diffusal pickup, super valuable this game. The mana burn on all their cores is amazing, right? These are not super high mana pool heroes. It's going to be devastating.
Crazy part is, I think some of this, it's happening around the tier 2 at 18 minutes. That's a dangerous area to fight, but Liquid, fearless in that regard, continue to fight underneath these tier 2s. They can run down Sacred and take the bottom.
Again, one fight, every kill, leading to objectives for this Liquid lineup. Every one of these little mistakes that Thunder makes, and they're hard not to make at this point. Cementing this game even more. You're up to 8 or 9k gold lead at 19 minutes. You're going to have that second Roche coming up within the next minute or two as well. But Tumba's going to be happy to clean that up real fast. And of course, you have Enigma Tusk supports. These are two heroes that are going to scale beautifully into the late game. You're not even necessarily in a rush this game. Liquid is feeling very comfortable right now. In terms of comeback for Thunder, you have this Gyro Ags, but Ags is only as good as the camps you have to farm, and he still doesn't have many. Zai is just continuously blocking half these neutral camps, scouting with the spiders. Doesn't even have to show his hero. The catch is pretty limited outside of a smoke or this Ember just remnanting in. And of course, if Dark Mago just remnants in, if there's ever a coil there, pretty much dead off the back of it.
What is the play against this when your camps are being taken so much? You're talking about smokes. Do they just try and get to the dire jungle, the dire triangle? How do they open up the map to get Picard that far?
You smoke and catch the Brood if you think your catch is good enough. You smoke the enemy triangle where the carry's likely going to be. If you think you can get there, honestly, your moves are pretty limited. I think in a theoretical world, Liquid can read most of what Thunder wants to do here, right? They're just so closed off so fast in this game. The towers are down. There's only one space you can be, right?
Yeah, exactly. And with the vision of the Spiderlings constantly going, you see every so 30 annoying. Seconds or so, they're going to show up in the triangle, they get a little information. What's going on here? Oh, that's because farming. Oh, there's a Tidehunter sitting in the river. So they will always get a pretty early warning sign if many heroes are missing on the side of Thunder. But the onus is on Liquid to continue to get these pickoffs that they've been getting before, and you could see Mickey wants to set something up here. No, they're actually TPing into mid. They see, what do they see?
They saw him top, which means time to invade the jungle, right? Okay. Looking for this Ember, saw him on this mid ward. Oh, does have an illusion rune. Maybe maybe some dodge potential here?
Yeah, possible. He's going to have to do a lot because he's going to be coiled. So he immediately pops it, tries to get the bounce out. The Static Storm. It is going to be a big bailout here as the stun is going to be on Boxy and keeping him chained out. It does allow Dark Mago to get away. Great reaction from Thunder. A full reaction from them.
Again, got to be careful about those smokes, right? Thunder can only be in one part of this map. It's pretty much triangle in their tier 2 mid. That's not the area you want to fight. Mickey identifies it very quickly. If you get that kill and get out, you're pretty happy. Forcing reactions, not too bad. As long as you're farming elsewhere on the map. This is where Insania being top is actually very vital for Liquid right now. Because he's making sure they're continuing to extract more out of this map than Thunder, regardless of what's happening around that tier 2 mid. And he's scaling. He's pushing to BKB right now. Like, he's going to have very fast blink BKB. This is not the raid pack Enigma from offlane. This is just... I'm gonna BKB and hole you, and what's your answer? There is no answer in this game. The only answer is very late game when Gyro has bad satanic territory and you just tank it.
Yeah.
But you're tanking a position 5 Enigma's black hole. Yeah. It's not even that amazing here. So Insania's cruising to his timings in this game, and that just makes it harder to contest the Roshans as well. Like, if he gets to BKB before this Rosh spawns, which looks super likely, can you even take that fight if you're Thunder? And if you don't take that fight, I don't know if you're winning this game. It becomes very difficult.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like no matter what's kind of happening here in these small little skirmishes, these little moves that are being countered and stuff, it feels like Thunder may win some small little battles, but they're losing the war.
I mean, I think theoretically Dark Mago maybe has to just start playing more aggressive on the map, try and push these side lanes a little deeper and get away before Puck finds him, before Enigma can black hole him. So otherwise, you're just losing so much net worth here now. 11k, you've been clumped for so long, and he's not even close to BKB. Like, this Ember is basically farming nothing right now, right? Yeah. And that is a sentence as good as death.
They've got the raid pack on the Tidehunter. It's probably a big reason why they're smoked up right now, but they're not finding anything. They go through the Radiant jungle, but Team Liquid, I'm not sure. They must have just made the read off as fighters. They're playing pretty defensively. In fact, it almost looks like they're going to go for a smoke of their own. So Thunder, if they try and push into this mid-tier 1 tower, it could be a dangerous fight for them.
They've got the wards on Tusk, and they've got BKB on Enigma, so uncounterable black hole here.
Immediately, there goes the coil. A no BKB Ember Spirit, susceptible to so much here. If they can stay on top of him, first him down before he gets the jump away. He does make it, he jumps out, but there's a black hole from Insania. A 3-man pick up, the Ravage counter goes out, but the Rage was already down from Matumba, and he shrugs that one up pretty easily. Now pops the BKB. Thunder, they need to be able to break open this fight now. Blowing the buybacks like this, it is a must-win. They need to be able to get a pick off or two. It's going to be the glimpse onto Zai, keeping inside. Insania comes back. They have to get this Broodmother kill. Matthew actually picks up the kill onto Insania. At the same time, Boxy gets run down as well. They try to bail out Zai, but actually feed some extra kills over to Thunder, and a slight change that is barely off the mark. Little unlucky there. Didn't get the puck. Maybe still get Matumba Man, though. He's bonus into Rage and his BKB. If they spot him, get the glimpse, pull him back in. Because is ready to go to clean up the kill on the carry.
Absolutely huge kill. They get the streak gold, almost 1,000 to Bakaz. He is so far ahead now. And of course, Roche spawning during this interval. He just sat there and turreted the whole fight. He's getting sidekicked on top of it, something we didn't mention, but yeah, that flag plus a sidekick is absolutely deadly if he goes unchecked.
Yeah, who needs a satanic?
Exactly, build your own. I mean, that black hole is beautiful from Insania. Coil on the best targets, you can get everything going right. But because he's in the back, double buybacks for Thunder on their supports to push it through.
Yeah, look at him. I mean, the 3-man black hole looks so pretty, but because is totally uncontested here this entire time, as is the Wraith pack, which is negating so much damage there.
These are 2 Thunder supports who, when they come in off the buybacks, can still have high impact. Yeah, the glimpse, the rebound, the positioning, and stuns can make sure Bakaz can hit people. And there's that flat sidekick just going to work. It's something Liquid has to think about.
Now, in the end, Dark Mago does end up dying. Mickey jumps back in and claimed that kill, but obviously it was still a huge win for Thunder, who, I mean, even if the net worth lead is still 10k after that, they stopped the bleed up, right? They got out on the map, they got some big farm, they got the Gyrocopter to his next progression of items, and our Ember Spirit, does he have the BKB yet? That could be a serious game changer considering the way they're throwing that coil at him.
Yeah, he'll get it in 200 gold. Now he's being able to push bottom lane a little deeper. Of course, the trade is Roshan. Thunder could not claim it after that fight. So Matumba's progression still going to be good here. BKB, Aegis, and Shard to the Fuzzy Wuzzy. He's a lot tankier than before. But perhaps the biggest thing out of all that is Pakaz lived through that too, right?
Yeah.
Sure, this win percentage is 20%, but this is a draft designed to function around that one hero with the flat cannon, with sidekick, going to work, dealing 90% of the damage. This game is just, if Pakaz gets checked, the team fight falls apart. If he has free reign, these fights are a little closer than the net worth shows.
It's going to be the ultimate hard carry setup for the player who's probably had one of the best carry performances at this tournament and this year in general.
I mean, honestly, I think you just black hole him. Yeah, I don't know if you have to feel too pressured to black hole much else in this game if you're Insania. Sure, if he's elsewhere on the map, you see the freebies, you take it. But it seems like you just black hole the gyro all in, and where's the fight after that, right?
Speaking of...
well, not black holing much there.
Insania, he did not expect to find the hard carry in his own triangle.
This is the type of thing Thunder wants happening when they're in this position as opposed to earlier. They don't want to all just be clumped around mid. They want the Tide to be able to deal with that. They want the Ember and they want the Gyro out on the map, at least somewhere cheeky. Pushing some deep side lane, farming enemy side of the map. Now that you have BKB on this Ember, he's a lot more confident to do that. Because can do it with backup all the way to Daedalus now. Gyro hits hard, man.
Zai, he's been working down all of these towers. You saw early on, he was working on that mid tier 1 tower. Now he's actually trying to take that mid tier 2 and take over more of that triangle like we've been talking about.
Yep, still sending the spiders, and he's actually going Ags on Brood this game. Something we saw him do earlier today. He just prefers it. Likes the playstyle of having these snares in the back, rooting supports, rooting Ember when his BKB is down.
Yeah.
They're super obnoxious, man.
Yeah, we actually really didn't get to see that Aghanims put into play too much in that last game. It felt like he came in at the tail end of it, but we'll definitely be able to make use of it in this game as Thunder, they're holding on for a while here, but Dark Mago going to be jumped on here. Can he keep the chase on? He's got the illusion to be able to jump away. Nice pickup. Illusion runes save lives. It's done it once and twice now.
I mean, he's lucky Skullbasher decided to save his proc for later. Yeah. He will take that RNG and walk back to his fountain with it. Thinking about who's luckier today. Seems like I.
Butterfly for Bakaz, so Matumba Man, he's gonna eventually need that MKB.
Wasn't that Team Spirit's best strategy at the last TI?
Yeah.
Luck. Sometimes that's all you need in Dota, you know? You can draft your heart out, you can play your heart out, but throw a little luck on there.
Goes a long way.
Now you're a champion.
20 to 23, 29 minutes in, Team Liquid. They've had tight control of this game for the most part. A couple of slip-ups there, particularly that mid-fight, and it has allowed Thunder to get out on the map. They've continued their progression in farm, both for the Ember Spirit and the Gyrocopter. Definitely the Gyrocopter is taking the majority of it, but with Dark Mago now having a BKB, he can play more aggressively out in these lanes because he doesn't have to worry about just being locked down by the coil alone. Has to be careful of that Basher, though.
But I think this is turning into a game where Liquid is just going to farm to their late game timing and just understand you just all in this gyro and a lot of the damage disappears. Might have to do it through buyback. But I think they're happy getting there. They have very crazy late game, right? You get to level 25 puck, all of a sudden your BKBs don't mean as much anymore. That sounds like it's a long way away, but he's level 21. He's got Octarine. He will farm the map very fast. He's got Arcane Rune on top of it actually right now, so Mickey is very ready to join anything.
And I feel like Ursa is one of the ultimate, he's both the hard carry and he's kind of like the anti-carry in many ways, right? Especially when he gets that level 25 talent as well, right? Like, who stands up against the double, 16 hitter? Dark Mago gets caught. The bottom lane, BKB going off, but Boxy denies him with the Walrus Punch.
The burst is crazy. You have Tusk and Ursa jump at the same time. I mean, it was just with the puck there, but imagine Ursa hitting you with the tag team with the punch.
Yeah.
Gyro really has to watch his position in this game. Even this Tide, he can get destroyed pretty fast.
Now, they do have an interesting timing coming up here for Thunder. The Aegis is expiring, and they almost have a Blink Dagger on the Tidehunter. It feels like that's something that is pretty crucial. Most of the time, they've just been responding to whatever Liquid's been doing, but with a Blink Dagger on Tide, they can finally be the true aggressors of a team fight.
You can find the jump. That's easier said than done when you've pretty much been stuck in a third of the map for the whole game. You have Spiders scouting, you have Ursa who can frontline, maybe get that ult off. Puck is getting untouchable at this point. Turns with the Octarine with the cooldowns. You're gonna have to win some fight with this gyro, and if you lose that, the game basically just ends. Liquid's just cruising into the late game here. I don't think they're sweating at all. Aeon disc up for Mickey as well. Can't even really jump him anymore. And like you were saying, this Ursa gyro matchup in the very late game with the backup he has, Matoma's gonna be happy to just jump this gyro, abyssal him, and take him to town.
Going out in the back lines here. Looks like they're going to deal with the Disruptor first. Fight goes out. Sacred clearing out the Spiders where they can. Boxy's actually going to snowball away from the enemy team. Looks like they're calling for a reset.
Double damage in the top river. Gets denied. Liquid happy to poke here.
They keep it up. Mickey now with that double damage. Blinks forward, getting some ideas. The spinner snare, not going to catch anybody. Oh, that shard almost locked in Sacred. That could have been nasty.
Not a lot of force stats or repositioning on Thunder side.
Oh, he's got to be careful. That spinner snare. Oh, no. The Walrus punch into the straight up physical damage to the Ursa. The BKB twice now. Does not save him. And now Picard steps a little bit too far forward. They caught him. The Black Hole pulls him back to his doom. Mickey's going to jump forward. There's just not enough heroes alive. He's going to try and chase him all the way back down to the mountain. There is going to be a buyback immediately from Mago. See if they can kill this puck. It's so important. Boxy, he's trying to hang around, see if he can bail out his buddy. Mickey's going to use the coil to ensure that Dark Mago can't pursue. He TP's out successfully. Bye-bye.
Not today, Thunder. You're going to have to be a little faster next time. Mickey just putting on a show on this back line with the puck. Late game puck pushing to that strength link. Good luck catching this man. Whereas on the flip side, Dark Mago's game is just so hard. Random spinner snares. This Black Hole can come out on the coil and come out of a box. He can punch him into the nether realm.
Yep.
That was his buyback as well.
Oh no!
And the dieback as well.
Absolute disaster. Mago cannot be feeling good about that. 70 seconds down. Team Liquid, I don't think they're necessarily going to go high ground in anything. Third Roshan is coming up, but it just further cements what was seemingly already like an insurmountable lead. Now, 25K. I don't know, you're going to need, I mean, they already had one miracle in game one. You're going to need a second one if Thunder wants to close this out 2-0.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That was a miracle win. I don't know what this one would be. I don't think there is a term that applies to it. This game is pretty solidified for Liquid right now. You wait for the next Roshan, you get Aegis on Ursa, and you take the jump fight into the base. As long as you check Gyro in the fight, there's not a lot of turnaround damage that comes out at this point.
Now, we talk about luck. It's a fast Roshan, too, so Team Liquid, they have any vision inside the pit, which they've got spiders and stuff. You should know about it pretty quickly.
I mean, you can't even get there, these spinner snares. Slowing Bakaz down.
They jump a Bakaz. BKB goes off. The bash is over. The shard is blocking him in. He needs some help. The life steal isn't keeping him alive well enough. But he threat now. The Black Hole goes down. But he cancels. He stops it. Insania walks away. Bakaz will similarly limp on outside. Looks to chase him down, but he couldn't quite finish him off with the nukes. And it's Matuma-Man who always dies. The enrage goes off. Dark Mago, he needs this kill. The blink away from Matuma-Man. He's just outside of this line. Won't be able to catch him there. Mago, now with a BKB on cooldown, is in some trouble here. He knocks his way back. Sleight of Fist trying to dodge some spells, but here comes Matuma-Man. He's back into play. Nikkei on the front lines as well. Spinner snare after spinner snare. Matuma-Man now pouncing in, life stealing up a little bit more. There it goes. Double kill, running him down underneath the tier 3 because he needs some help. The buyback from Dynamo will not be able to help him.
The help is game 3, I believe. Puck pushing level 25 now.
No, Pandaville. Leave him alone. He's just a 4-5 position. He gets knocked out.
What a recovery here from Liquid, man. After that game 1.
GG, that's it. Thunder tap out. They say, we'll give this one to you, Liquid. We'll see you on the battlefield for game 3.
What a game 3 it's going to be. That was just the complete turnaround. Everything that game was in terms of closeness, this was not. That was Liquid domination from minute 5 onwards. They closed the map out, brewed strategy, executed to perfection, forced Thunder to one area, don't overextend into it, slowly squeeze every camp out of that map. Half of them were blocked by broodlings the whole time. Sure, you have a hyper farmer carrying Gyro who can get buffed up by sidekick, but he has nothing to hit. All that firepower, no targets. Good luck.
Liquid, step 2, well, maybe just step 1, bouncing back from that mega creep game. They got the mental resiliency to be able to get a game 2 and tie it out. But can they finish out this series? We'll have to wait and see. This Thunder versus Liquid will continue to game 3 after this.
Team Liquid tie it up 1-1. Thunder Awaken will now need their speech to go into the next game, from this match. This is kind of what we expect at the International, I guess. It's, nothing less than this. We've had, megas to some, a reverse mega win. Now we've got it pushing to game 3. Liquid fans on their seat, the whole of South America on their seat, on the edge of their seat, But what do you make of the match?
This match is what we needed. Like, we needed the game 3, we needed Liquid to come back, and we needed a draft such as this one. We needed Zai on that brood. We needed him to just show off, to just send the spiders constantly across the map, to be blocking the Ancients, to be preventing the Gyro from actually ever being a true threat. I was worried for them a little bit. At times, Liquid seemed like they just didn't have enough firepower. Like, they didn't have enough items to actually match up. In the damage department, at least.
And it felt like this entire time, like, Mickey just popping off on this puck. Because every single time on the sidelines, at least, he's there, kiting in and out the fights, punishing Thunder Awaken, not having, like, a super clean form lockdown. And in doing so, it baited them to, like, TP into mass engagements, come into these vulnerable positions, and then you had, like, the Ultra Kill on the Brood on the bot lane. You've got, like, the Black Holes from Insane. Like, the fact that Boxy on his task, he has the most kills on his team, just because of how scrappy this game got and the speed in which Liquid ran around and just kind of picked apart. But yeah, the fact that you mentioned the Zai Broodmother, the most annoying brood I've seen throughout this entire TI. Just consistently blocking. I'm actually agitated just watching that game. I'm scared to go back to play pubs to watch new brood players just consistently do it as well.
Zai was so good. As soon as they picked that in the draft, it felt over for me because Thunder Awaken was suddenly just scrambling around trying to patch holes in their draft because Picard is their star player. You can't put it any other way. This guy is consistently such an amazing carry. His ability to poke and prod in and out, carry these games. You're picking his hero so early, and it's not a meta carry. It's not something super OP, right? You picked it for one purpose, and that purpose is taken away by this role swap. And I think that you drafting like that, it's risky, it's scary, and it didn't pay off here.
It kind of did look all right to me at the beginning, looking at the draft. Okay, you have this Tidehunter, he will be able to defend all the time, but the problem is also the itemization. You go like 2 bracers into a raid band on the Tidehunter. The only person on their whole lineup that could initiate was the Ember. Meanwhile, on the side of Liquid, you have Insania with the Blink Dagger, you have Tusk, Boxy with the Blink Dagger as well. You're just waiting on your side for things to happen if you're Thunder Awaken.
Yeah, and I like the fact the Insania went straight for the BKB after the Blink, didn't need the Wraith Pack, which we saw earlier in other games. Of course, he was playing in position 5, but has Puck been kind of slept on? Because Thunder Awaken, they love their lanes, but Mickey, when you get Puck, you can kind of be everywhere quite quickly and still recover back to your mid lane. And I really feel that Mickey, slowed Thunder Awaken down massively.
Yeah, 100%.
I really like the Puck. And I think Liquid really abused Vision that game. They had a lot of really deep invasive wards down that they used, especially in the lanes. Like, they would leave them kind of on the corners of lanes and stuff to see where Thunder were moving. So it's not only seeing, like, the carry's here, it's seeing what support is hiding behind them waiting, so you know who not to go on. And that was what let them dive so aggressively under these tier 2s and stuff and take the good fights.
And it's also on top of that, the fact that Zai with his spiderlings, even if they're not blocking camps, they're still giving indirect vision because, like, they're not farming here. So then Mickey on his Puck, he knows exactly they're not here, so if I want to go make an obnoxious play, I can then maybe go fight in the top side. And we saw a perfect example where Zai would have his spiderlings in the triangle, which then forced Picard to go farm a lane, and by going to lane, instantly he TPs and gets the kill. So it's just these beautiful movements between cores indirectly just unlock Liquid to play a beautiful game too.
It was sometimes direct vision as well, right? The spiders just following everyone about. You can't shake them off, you can't kill them fast enough for them to not give vision. Meanwhile, Puck, he was uncontested. Ember was going for an orchid. Like, they needed extra lockdown.
Well, Team Liquid's players certainly played well, but that's not really the storyline that most of us care about. because Blitz gave a speech in game 1 and it was rubbish. No one won. But he did a speech before game 2 and it really, I think, secured Liquid their victory. Let's check in with the coach.
My friends, this is not the end for us. Let's be really focused. Let's calm down, guys. If we weren't meant to win here, we weren't meant to win here. But at least let's play the Dota that we want to play, yeah? That means no stressing each other out. That means taking moves cleanly. Yeah, exactly. Our ninja way the entire time.
Ninja way.
Guys, I truly love each and every one of you. I'm super proud of everything that we've done so far. Let's not let it end here, though.
Yeah.
Trust in each other.
Good, William.
It's what got us this far.
sir.
Even if we're behind, let's find ways to win, yeah? They found a way to win, we can find a way to win too.
Yes.
Believe in each other and have trust the entire way through.
There we go. Look.
That was very inspirational.
Team.
I mean, again, it's just heartfelt. It's like that's what you need to hear when going into the game. You just need to like have.
Yeah, and he wants to calm them down as well. He wasn't going to do a big speech because they need to be level-headed, and he knows them so well. And Blitz has been around for very long time in the Dota scene.
Yeah. Again, like we mentioned it in the after game 1, it's like after that type of game, your game 2. You don't want to have your coach or anyone saying to you like, oh, this TP was really bad, this pick was really bad. Like, you just need to humanize the game and like just being able to actually have access to hearing what the coach is saying before games. It's very cool to see.
Anything more to kind of add to the post-game, or how excited are we about moving into the next? And if we are, what do you think Thunder Awaken need to say to each other going into this? Because it's not like they've got the weight of SA on their shoulders. They're obviously, playing for themselves. But certainly they're very, very, I think, should be honored to represent their region and do so well.
Something like little shits SAs here.
Because Avo was lying in that translation. Avo, you cheeky little git. We know... Well, I'm not sure if I think it's Vintage that would have said that.
It was Vintage, yeah.
It was Vintage, yes. But talking about SA and their placements and why it really I think is just such an achievement for this team to represent their region. TI7 in Seattle, top placement for SA was 13th to 16th. Vancouver, 17th to 18th. Shanghai, 7th to 8th, which was the best they had until TI11 Singapore here, where they have guaranteed top 6, but winning this will move them on to top 4. And of course, Hokori did very well as well. This is now, 3 teams that have placed fantastically from SA. We got 13th to 16th, and Beast Coast, unfortunately, got knocked out 7th to 8th.
I think this alone says that maybe SA should get some more slots, maybe, next season in DPC. The fact they are doing so well at TI, maybe we can throw an extra slot.
Who do we take it away from? NA?
That's a conversation for another day. But
I ain't trying to start anything.
I don't want to start any SA beef, but no, I think, some extra SA love after this would be pretty cool.
Now, we know Thunder Awaken were very confident going into Game 2 because they picked Sacred Tidehunter.
So...
It was...
we vetoed this conversation.
It wasn't easy, though. They picked the Tidehunter for the Broodmother. It made sense. Then it got countered a little bit by the Ursa. He could never actually be that wall, that front line in front of towers, because Ursa would just get there and just smash right through him.
To be fair, though,
his lane was quite good.
Their laning setup was perfect.
Actually got the kill on to Matu on Ursa. Yeah, sorry, T.
No, you're right though, because they put the disruptor there, they actually had an advantageous lane. Because they swap up the lane to put Marcy bottom, it works well. The issue is when they rotate bottom, if they don't give away this ultra kill with the Brood, the game is probably completely different dynamic. But because they lose that one little clutch mini engagement, the rest of the script, the game fell Liquid's way. So I think you could probably boil down Thunder Awaken losing this game so easily to that fight.
Shippo, do you feel comfortable when your Tidehunter has 2 bracers and a Ghost Scepter?
No.
It doesn't strike with confidence, right?
I mean, he would just walk into these fights and try and be a body for his team to give vision or bait spells in on him, and then, if Ursa goes on him, he has to have a Ghost Scepter or he'll just die. Having to itemize like that, it feels terrible.
Yeah.
And Dark Mago on the Ember that game, we saw a lot of movement from Mickey on his puck. Did we see, enough from Dark Mago?
Maybe even too much. Like, he rotated down bottom when he was level 5. He did get a kill, but it kind of snowballed into the series of events in which Zai eventually ends up getting an ultra kill, which was a huge boost for him, and the whole lineup of Liquid. It just activated them earlier.
Yeah. he dropped way down in net worth. It was, it was too much. I think they have some pretty obvious issues, which maybe gives you confidence going into game 3 because it's easy stuff to fix, honestly.
And also Matu on the carry. The players, I do believe, will be joining us on stage in roughly 30 seconds. So we'll be going into the next game. We're very ready for this as well. It's been a lot of emotions today, guys, I feel.
It's just the fact that this series, for example, like this, we're going into a single game now. Do you want SA to be able to continue their run? Do you want them to be in top 4? I think most fans would love to. But then, unfortunately, Liquid, they got this Matu retirement situation. So it's like, do you want SA to do really well? Yes. Do you want Matu to not have to retire and stop playing Dota?
Split the time.
No. Like, can we split the timeline right now? Can we have 2 alternate realities, please? Because I can't pick one. I want more.
Well, we get more. We don't know which way the storyline is going to go, but it's going to be one game that decides it. Matu here, coming out on stage, ready to sit down for Team Liquid. And I've got to highlight Matu. We've talked about a lot of his teammates and how well they've kind of, played, or at least how their heroes have been instrumental to the momentum of the game. But Matu, he's been playing what I feel like is just such minimal mistakes. He's played so well on so many of his scores. It's just impressive.
Just very stable. In game 1 and in game 2, he was on point with his plays. In game 2 as well on Ursa, he was aggressive enough. Wasn't really going across the border way too much behind enemy lines, but was always there to dish out the exact amount of damage needed to take down the gyro counter, in example.
I just don't know what Liquid will look like when Matu leaves, because he is so instrumental. Like, their drafts built...
Oh, don't talk about this right now, please. Savor the moment. He's here.
Sorry.
That's the next TI conversation.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Okay.
He's still on screen.
He's still on screen.
Well, not right now. That's Boxy. But
Matu's still here, guys. Let's pick some answer.
I also find it very strange in esports that people are like, yes, I'm retiring. But in normal sports, it's like, okay, I'm a little bit over the, I'm a little bit kind of down. I'm not in my prime anymore. And it's like, Matu, by the way, you're top 6.
Yeah.
You're really good. You could probably compete next year. But, of course, Dota has been around for so long and it takes years to master, and now such an effort to stay on top. These teams, have psychologists, they have training facilities, and I think I believe Thunder Awaken actually picked up recently a team psychologist.
It's instrumental nowadays, especially when you think about TI. It is the competition that the Dota is obviously fundamental, but being able to keep your team in check, right? Of course, you can't really forget about it. There's the prize money, there's the prestige, there's like the fans, like all of this kind of boils down where when you think about other competitions, you can kind of like gloss it over a bit. You can kind of maybe put it aside, but this is the tournament.
Yeah, other competitions feel very much like, okay, it's an esports competition. TI, it's just something different because it's where true competitors, spirit comes out, and if you're going to win, you have to go up against everything because it's just so much pressure. You've trained all year for this, the prize money, everything else, the competition is nuts.
If you're a Dota2 player, this is literally your dream since the first competitive match that you have. Like, you're just looking towards TI.
I think other esports, players look at the TI.
They also want to compete here, but...
Well, it looks like we're ready then. It's going to be game number 3. Let's go into the draft.
5 seconds remaining.
Team Liquid versus Thunder Awaken. Game 3.
Welcome back, and the teams are going to be ready to start drafting. So Blitz behind Team Liquid, and also Vintage will be behind Thunder Awaken. And one of the most important drafts, because this is the last game of this match during main stage. The winner of this will move into top 4, and they'll be playing next weekend in the finals, joining teams like Team Secret, Asta, and Tundra Esports. Who will it be?
We instantly see some adjustments coming from Thunder Awaken. They ban out the Brood Mother. Don't want to have anything to do with that hero. Meanwhile, Liquid, Dawnbreaker Tiny. Nothing has changed here. Nyx Assassin did go through, and Lash did go through. Now Thunder Awaken might even have to consider picking up that Nyx very early on, if not the Lash.
I think the nice thing, though, is because Thunder Awaken have first pick, it means that Liquid can't do what happened in game 1, where they took this Lash on the last pick of first phase and just kind of catch them with that. So if they do want to force it on Liquid, at least Thunder have that pick to respond. And this time, yeah, I'm just hoping that they don't get caught out in that trap.
Can't you nick Slash now if you're Liquid as well?
Yeah, you
got an option.
You can nick Slash, you can CM Lash, because of course we mentioned how CM is the lane counter to Marcy. Lash of course good in the game, CM then enables the Lash rep the aura.
I just feel like CM won't be removed later on. We'll be able to snatch her up.
They can do, Lash plus anything right now, I feel. Or, this is where, when it gets to a single game, you win it, you continue, you lose it, you're out. They might change
After Mickey's first game performance, I think we will see Lash.
I was offering a unlikely scenario.
You know, this is my favorite thing about Dota is when it gets to TI, Blitz himself has like spoken on this as well as Puppy. It comes down to them as ideas. They're like, yeah, this team isn't got like strengths and weaknesses. This team isn't better or worse. Like everyone's come in with like ideas, and it's all comes down to who has the best ideas.
Are they baiting the Knicks right now? Because not the strongest laner, and later on can be hunted down and killed off by the Tusk, right? Like if you poke yourself a little bit too far out where sentries are, Tusk can always catch you.
I feel like it's near not impossible, but Thunder Awaken hasn't presented any flexibility. Actually, I guess they've done offlane Marcy, but then if they are, it's now offlane Marcy for Nyx. It just doesn't feel like a strong opening when you compare it to a Tusk and Leshrac. We've seen how Nyx back in the old days, sure, is a big counter to Leshrac, but now with how quickly teams play around this Leshrac,
we've seen him lose today even to a Leshrac.
So I feel like if you're Thunder Awaken, you need to counter it in a different form just to keep your draft a bit more open. And we mentioned the same already. The likelihood of Thunder Awaken banning a Crystal Maiden now in the second phase is quite low, and it simplifies Liquid's opening to next phase because you can just go, CM, boom, please, draft into us.
Yeah, last game I think it was Liquid that banned the CM versus Thunder. And
they got the Enigma themselves. Is this... Okay, so last time we saw this, Winter Wyvern was banned out versus Insania. That's something that we might see once again. It's pretty neat with Clash as well, right? Love the crowd.
I'm glad they didn't take the Knicks. I just don't think it fits into them as a team. Like, I want to see Matthew being the one playing the Marcy. I don't think they should throw Marcy into offlane. I think changing everything too much, especially in a game where your TI life is on the line, is just not their style. I just want them to just pick their comfort. I think that's something that LGD did in not the last series but the one before. They were saying, when it comes down to it, you just have to say, we don't care about losing. Play your comfort, play what makes you happy.
They did play Nyx before on 4, but like you said, Matthew probably will be playing that. Sacred, I'm actually much happier with him playing the Enigma than the Tidehunter. I feel that he has had way more impact on the Enigma throughout the games that we have watched.
I mean, it's just it's the TI hero, right? If you get to Blink, you get to BKB, as long as there isn't that innate cancel, you're going to be able to hit some of these clutch holes.
Yeah. They didn't ban out everything, though. They banned out the Silencer. There are still heroes that are pretty decent versus the Enigma and that can be picked on position 5.
Yeah, you still got the Enchantress because you take over the island and can fight. You got the Winter Wyvern for the defending tower, and then the Winter Curse throughout the game. You still got, again, you mentioned the Crystal. There's still Pango. 100%. Like, Pango's not been banned. Like, I could easily see Pangolier being important for Liquid second phase, Crystal Maiden being important for second phase. Like this.
We're just gonna get the exact same game. Game 1 drafts all over again.
I mean, game 1 was a little bit saved by the Lesh on Mickey, but I felt that was sometimes Thunder Awaken pushing a little bit too hard into the enemy jungle. So one of the differences we see, despite looking at game 1 and from game 2, is Mickey on Lesh. How does that play into the early game?
I feel like now that the emotions have settled, if we do see a repeat of game 1, Mickey on Lesh will do even better. That's how I see it, at least, because they made some crucial overextensions in that game 1 a couple of times, which did cost them the game eventually.
And this is the same setup Liquid have done before. In game 2 of OG earlier today, they had Lesh, Tusk, CM, and then they rounded out the draft with the Bloodseeker and the Broodmother. Very much on their Awaken, they need to make sure that I think they just need to be ready to be defensive a little bit. Sure, their nature of style is to be strong in lanes and to be killing, but when Liquid's already presented this open, you need to be just have layers of fighting at objectives.
I don't know, I saw that last game. They were really defensive, maybe a little bit too much. Do you double down on that in game 3?
When I say defensive, I mean just have
Maybe in a different way.
Yeah.
In a way that works. In a better way.
But like Undying's decent. You can fight around. Oh, okay. We've not seen a lot of Pudge recently. Like, oh, there you look at Panda Boo. He's getting excited for the Pudge pick. Again, Pudge is this hero that you can buy the Vanguard or a Hood. You get the Axe, you're super tanky. You can basically be what Leshrac is for Liquid. The Pudge becomes a Thunder Awaken. You throw them into the middle fight and you absorb that damage.
Are you inviting a life stealer perhaps here? Yeah.
I want to see a hero that either can kill the Tombstone or helps the team disengage in these fights. You either need to get away from the Tombstone or you need to be able to kill it and dictate where your fights are being taken, because Thunder Awaken, they just want to throw down a black hole with a Tombstone on top or play around some cliff, hook you in. They have ways to displace you between hook and dispose on the Marcy. So
Is
it going to be Pango, Lifestealer, you think, potentially?
It's an option.
Yeah. I'm thinking
Sniper is also in the pool still, right?
Sniper's decent. Like Death Rocket offlane is pretty decent. You pair a mixture of
I go with Lifestealer. James, you're on fire, man.
Literally, he's on fire. Please, someone
How many
get an
times have we
extinguisher.
seen Matu Lifestealer hit Pudges? It's quite telegraphed, but it seems like Thunder Awaken are quite happy to go against it, right? Because now you're looking for an answer to the Enigma. Because you can still lock down the Lifestealer for a little bit. There will be time.
They can lock down him a lot.
Exactly, right?
They have Dismember, as well, these late games, when he goes late, the Pudge gets a refresher too, and then you have 2 bites. So Liquid need an offlaner, or their Tusk needs to buy a Lotus Orb so that they can just put it on Matu and let him go wild in these fights.
But also an answer now, I think, to the Enigma. Because it's a backup lockdown for Matu in these fights.
Yep.
When you look at the statistics of Pudge versus Lifestealer in pro pubs, that is like 8k plus games, Pudge has like a 58% win rate against Lifestealer. Just the fact that you get so tanky so quickly and join the fights. Lifestealer's always playing a little bit of catch up in regards to what item you bring.
Yeah, but that's also the nature of pubs, is that you're constantly hunting heroes, and Pudge early on.
That's Thunder Awaken.
Right? Yeah, definitely is. But they do also have a ton of BKB piercing lockdown, like Sheeple mentioned earlier. And I love the Slardar. Actually, they're the ones that ban out the Slardar. They just don't want to play against this old school ultra aggression with Lifestealer constantly being infested in the Slardar, jumping the backline, something that we haven't seen that much up to today and yesterday.
10 seconds remaining.
Also the puck banned out, so they're literally getting rid of all these infest ones.
On Thunder Awaken side, I do want to see a little bit more kill threat coming out. Right now they don't have a playmaker outside of Marcy just leading, or they have to land a hook.
Is Lina an option for them? You just got that mid, you're playing into a Lesh, it feels like such a natural counter to the Lesh in the lane. Might be a little bit difficult versus the Tusk, and it's banned out instantly.
She would have been really nice for sure. Something with just kill threat on Lesh would be so nice, because your Marcy can just rotate at any moment with a TP or dies and then refills the bottle, and you just that jump onto Lesh. It's so easy to kind of displace him and kill him. And you have these really nice ways to fight around the runes. Like if they want to commit in on Liquid, you have that Tombstone that you can place if you bring both supports. I'm just assuming that they're going to want to do a lot of fights around mid because they have such aggressive supports on both sides.
Are they just going to give Dark Mag Spirits? Yeah,
I would say Spirits. It's like the Storm or the Ember, just something to cut into the backlines, and you need a hero that actually opens up the vision of the fight so that the Undying knows I need to Tombstone, or the Enigma has that black hole. Marcy has someone to play with as well, so yeah, Thunder Awaken going for the Spirits. And now, for Liquid, most likely the offlaner.
Pango.
I still kind of like Death Prophet. I don't know, we haven't seen it a lot, but just a Death Prophet into Undying Pudge should fare pretty well. It gets super tanky, and it's not a traditional like enabler for Lifestealer, but it just gives...
With the Siphon, it's always kind of nice. Versus the Undying, it's also really nice. With the Tusk, you're strong in the lane.
Yeah, it's a lot,
but James said Pango, so I have to go with Pango.
It has to be Pango, yeah, you're right.
It won't be now.
I mean, I love how they play Death Prophet, because Zai's really good as well around fighting the Roche Pit as DP, because he'll just use his body to sort of split up the enemy team and get in there to make space for the Roche to be taken, or for his team to find the right targets they want. He's great at being just like a
you're a problem that needs to be answered. Like even solo black hole on you is...
What about Clockwork?
That's a little bit crazy, I realize.
Okay, James, relax. Relax. James, right.
James knows.
You should have just...
Don't doubt yourself, man. Don't doubt yourself.
You guys made me doubt myself because
No, we agree with you.
It was broken. But anyway, who do you think's got to base off the draft?
I kind kind of favor Liquid a little bit, just because the Pango will now be the answer for the Enigma throughout the entire game. And they just have these heroes that they have excelled on immensely throughout TI so far. And even Blitz, that he's now going player to player, giving them the little motivational speeches and whatnot.
Showing off the arms as well.
Look at my muscles, I went to the gym this morning. Oh, what? Oh, everyone gets a handshake, but Zai gets a fist bump. Don't read into it too much.
He was upset with Game 1 performance.
Yeah, don't miss a swashbuckle on this Black Ops.
Yeah, that did happen a few times in Game 1. But yeah, so you're sorry, to wrap up,
I really like Thunder Awaken's draft.
You like Thunder Awaken?
The amount of like BKB piercing stuff they have. You're way too reliant on Pango.
I see
cancel them later.
I see Lesh, I see Mickey. I'm all in.
That's fair.
It's going to be a close game.
Oh, it certainly will be, and it will be the last game of the main stage. But before we go into the match, we're going to have a post-draft interview with Blitz.
Blitz, thank you so much for taking time for us once again. Very interesting draft here that we see coming out, but I did want to talk to you about that first game one. Seemed like you guys should have had that one in bag. As Seb said, the games that you should win are the hardest ones to lose. How did you guys recover? How did the team talk to each other to have a fantastic game two?
I mean, I don't think you should really win any game. They're a really, really good team. You got to close out games here at TI. I think it's pretty disrespectful to just imagine like, oh, we're supposed to win that. Like, they did all the right things. Full respect to them. They deserved it. Absolutely. Really good job by them.
All right, fantastic. Such great sportsmanship that we've seen so many times. I wish you the best of luck in your last game of the day, and we will throw it straight to the game. Let's head to our casters.
Thunder, they managed to take that game one in spectacular fashion. Lightning in the hands. Afterwards, word the pop-off from their coach. Respect SA, you shits. Thunder in the mouth. But it's easy to have that kind of pop-off after that game one. How do you do it after that game two, which was probably a demoralizing loss?
Yeah, that one was maybe a rougher game to lose than the first one, because now you're going into a game three and you had all your momentum disrupted. You really got controlled on the map. It felt very clinical. I always thought those types of games can be, they're rough to come out of, and already Matthew.
Somebody give him an out. He's going to be able to leap away. Just Marcy things, everybody.
That's a nice way to start this game off.
Yeah, it's got to feel good. You know, so almost certainly a first blood that was going to be given away, but Matthew gets away ever so barely. And it looks like Thunder, Liquid still want to have a clash here. Zai is spotted out because he's going to go for the hook onto the bounty rune. Is anybody going to take it? Yeah, they're going to just chase him away, make sure there is going to be no hook. So that is going to be 3 bounty runes minimum for Liquid. There's still an awkward one sitting there in the top river area, but Thunder, they may have not given away the first blood, but it is going to be a rough start for them.
They're going to challenge Panda here, try and keep him off the lane a little bit. Not the worst idea. Get some efficient trading out before Undying gets there and can zone the Tusk in the one-on-one. But of course, Matthew, never far.
That was clean. Boxy, not even taking a moment to adjust. He's been landing some great shards all, well, I was going to say all day long, but really all tournament long.
I remember in that game one, they tried to dodge this Enigma Lifestealer matchup, and obviously they had a better matchup to throw it into, but this time they could have done the same thing. They could have thrown Pango in a side lane, could have tried to go for that. Instead, they're just going to man up, take the matchup, because they want this Pango mid. They want the Ember Pango matchup. They do not want to put the Leshrac there, which will force Lesh to this 3 position on Zai. Perhaps a little farm priority. I say that, and every time I've seen an off-lane Lesh at this tournament, it doesn't seem like it gets any lower farm priority, so maybe not too much overthinking in terms for Liquid, but maybe just a comfort thing. Mickey just wanted this Pango mid. It's a nice melee-on-melee matchup, and Pango getting more farm in this game is pretty nice, right? There's not a lot to control him outside of that black hole, especially if he gets to, like, Basher, Ag's territory.
They're trying to secure range creeps, and nice bailout from Bakaz. So you watch that, they denied their own range creep, and then he had to hop in to secure the range creep for the side of Thunder, but it did put him in a little bit of danger, fortunately, because it's a nice hook to bail him out ultimately.
I also want to say, like, I felt this draft picking this Pudge was pretty ballsy. Like, you're in a game 3 elimination, your whole year on the line, and you go to Pudge carry. This hero can show up in the biggest ways, but he can also flounder a bit. Especially when you have that Marcy, it's not a sidekick partner. So you're losing some value there. You can throw it on the Ember. Feel really great about that in the mid game, but it's not like last game where they had the Marcy gyro. You're just powering up a monster. On the flip side, if Bakaz is feeling it, you got to go with it, right? And I think On Dire, Matu is feeling this lifestealer. We have seen him pop off on this hero over and over this tournament. He's not afraid to play it into the Enigma here.
Yeah, you had some suggestions. I called out lifestealer immediately. You said I actually prefer the Ursa. What do you think the difference was there between those two carries? Because either one would have been a great choice against Pudge here.
Aside from God, I don't know. You know, he felt it in his heart. I think if you feel a hero, you can always pick 10 heroes in a position in a draft, and they can probably be executed. But if Matu's feeling the lifestealer, it's one of his classic heroes from way back in the day. Could be his last game. Gotta go with what you feel is right.
Over the split earth. He's only gonna be able to land on the Marcy, and they got the hook on his eye. Because close range gets some serious damage onto that left Shrek. Both teams are gonna limp away. No first blood just yet. 3 minutes in.
Gotta be careful of the sticks in this type of skirmish lane. Boxy up to 8 charges, Because holding on to his 10. Do not want to get over-baited into a tower, into the hook.
Over, they're gonna
round 2.
Because
Nice shot.
Beautiful shot. My God, the whole round blocked by the range creep, and they do manage to get the first blood as Marcy falls first, and with the hook on cooldown, Because it's gonna take a lot of damage. They're gonna go for it. The stick is gonna be used, but underneath the tower, they've got the creeps to be able to tank up. They get both the kills in this lane. Team Liquid, this is a huge victory, not just for those kills, but look how many creeps are dying without anybody to collect.
Yeah, Matthew's going to try and collect Zai a little bit, but no aggro to bank on. Trying to get body blocks.
Oh, dodges the split.
Awkward shard.
By Matthew. Because going to come back in soon. Can he hit the hook? This is so important. Hit by the snowball. If he lands it, the mind games, which way is he going to go? Left or right? Around the tree. Because the biggest hook of his life. Honestly, it felt like that hook was so important just because this lane was going so poorly for them. A big W, I think, for just the emotional tie here of Thunder.
Perhaps the biggest hook of the tournament, the morale boost that comes out from that. If you miss it too, you just feel demoralized. The Because, Zai putting on his dancing shoes, but Because a little bit better. That said,
makes for a good
Foxy's
partner.
not done.
This is not a dance at all. This is a weird do-si-do where it looks like Because is going to be run down by Zai and Foxy with no help coming from the Marcy.
And no teleport for 25, 10-second differential there. He cannot get back the lane. The lane's up super far as well. I don't even know if they can keep playing this. This is just a disaster of a safe lane for Thunder. Yeah. Especially for a hero like Pudge, who you do not want to lose early XP on. He's not some super flash farmer until he gets to the later point with the Ags, and you're in a rush to get there where you really accelerate.
The pump fakes, there's so many of them. The mind games are extreme, and he gets Zai.
Zai had a good laugh about that one.
Yeah, he did. It's good to see that even under the pressure, a reminder, this is the last game before we head to the finals, before we secure our final 4 teams. One more is going there, and it's either Liquid or Thunder. All right, here's see the team still having some fun.
Here's trialing now, just to try and keep the Pudge in the lane. They're going to bring the Undying.
Barely off there. That would have been a great hook into a tombstone setup.
Remember, Thunder, not too pressured by this. The Enigma can be a little self-sustaining. That said, Matthew will choose to go up here anyway. See if he can maybe pressure Matumba. Try and harass him a little on an overextension, a missed rage.
6-minute power runes are coming up here, and looks like the mid lane matchup has gone pretty well for Dark Mago. He's up in the CS. We'll see whether or not he fares well in the rune battle on the luck of the draw. Though it actually may not be luck. The crystal
securing it.
Insania is here to secure it. He's going to grab the haste away from Mago.
No slight steal attempt, and very nice rune steal from Liquid. That would have been a huge rune for this Ember in the early game. Now he's going to transfer it into some aggressive help.
Does have the rebound away, so they're not going to chase after him.
Meanwhile, Pandamu, Undying, very much dying down here. This lane has been an absolute train wreck for Thunder down here.
Yeah, they tried to switch it up by having the Undying down there because I guess with the Marcy, they have better kill potential on just feasting on Insania and killing him over and over again, but that last step had to hurt for the Undying because he dropped the tombstone as well. That's just an extra half a hero bounty.
I mean, if you remember that first game, it was Because getting the first blood, getting out to the huge lead. Zai shut down.
Yeah.
This is the flip script entirely. Zai is way out ahead in this game on an off-lane hero that maybe shouldn't be getting this much, but when he does, just takes huge advantage of it. Going to lightning build. This is a killer Leshrac here. He's not going to mow down the towers, but he's mowing down your life. Thunder already having some issues to address in this early game. Puts more weight on Dark Mago's shoulders to maybe make some rotations, try and get Because back. Pandamu He hasn't even been laning. He's just been fighting for his life.
Foxy's going in deep here, but there's going to be some reinforcements. Dark Mago's going to show up with the help of Matthew. A splitter to try and create some opening for Foxy to get away. Doesn't land, so Foxy should be chased down here. He's going to play a little game of ring around the rosy, but it's not fair against that sleight of fist. Can't dodge that.
I mean, these are necessary turnarounds. You cannot let your Undying get abused and pushed out of areas this much. Especially when you're going to try and contest runes here, which it looks hard for Thunder at this point. Usually you want to contest a 6 and 8 with Marcy. She's so strong in these early skirmish fights with sidekick and rebound. Especially with a hero like Ember. No spirit here wants to give up the runes. We're already seeing Boxy come back in mid for the refill. This is for the 8-minute. Or maybe more.
Had the stick charges. Needed that for the mana to be able to jump away.
Is under attack.
Dark Mago will get it. Illusion. Not super useful, but not the worst. All this said, all this skirmishing, it does create a one-on-one scenario between Enigma and Lifestealer, and I think Sacred's pretty happy with this.
Yeah.
Again, he has a very fast Vlads and a very fast 6.
See if they can burst him down. They have so many eyes on it with the black hole. The infest is up. What? I thought I heard that infest sound go off, but it looks like just a tiny little time was left. We're going to jump into that creep.
I think he heard it too, but hearing it, not the same as getting it off.
Yeah.
And that's just a perfect rotation, perfect timing to use this black hole to extra Vlad's damage. Maybe he's just curing that kill. Sacred off to a very good start. And I feel like Enigma is one of his heroes this tournament, whereas that Tide is not. I mean, we're looking at the stats. I think they have a 0% win rate with that Tide, whereas this Enigma is way higher. So you're not in the same scenario as last game, where you're getting your map pressured super early and you have to react. Sacred is going to be able to take control of this game.
Nice pull back into the tombstone. Lock him down. And Zai will be having early grave here underneath the tier 1 tower. Dark Mago looks like he tried to come in, clean up, and does in fact get the crystal bait in. That hefty amount of damage with the orbital corrosion. That physical is chipping away at Liquid. Both mid-game Boxy will have to retreat.
They even TP'd the Enigma. I think this Enigma TP ended up being a mistake just because they thought they were going to overextend into a fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't end up being there. He doesn't even have Black Hole. I honestly think this was just a misread by Sacred here. He would much rather be top, already taking that tier 1. He's going to have to make the long trek now.
Part of that is the pressure of TI, right? We always say that teams are more likely to group up, stay together for team fights. Mickey already dropped it pretty low here as he got the bottle charges. Yes, nice hook over as the shard plays against Boxy here for the roll in from Mickey. It's trying to keep the chain stun onto the Ember Spear, and they do manage to get it with a snowball afterwards from Boxy. A worthy trade-off because was not able to get that kill in the Tusk fast enough, it seems.
Abusing that tombstone cooldown. Again, this move is even more punishing because Enigma is still walking back top after that TP bottom. So you don't get all this top pressure. This tower would be far dead by now. Instead, you're going to have Pakaz go up here, even more awkward in a way. You're just abandoning this bottom tower. Didn't get the fight you wanted. Liquid making some good fast moves. They were pretty low for that engagement. The slights. This is an Ember that can go to town this game. A lot of physical damage coming out versus the low armor.
Yeah, certainly.
He is playing down here.
Scott, magic wand charges. Dark Mago, is he going to go after it? He's going to go for the red slide. They need to be able to stop him. Boxy, he does just that. Okay. All right. Insania's dead, and now Boxy. No, let's not chase into that tower. That might be a little much. Thunder are winning both in that lane, and they're taking the top lane at the same time. So,
yep, 10-minute catapult. We'll finally convert on it. Looks like Mickey wants to defend. No ult for 7. Tower's just dead.
Yeah, it's going to die anyway. They didn't have the rolling thunder to roll out
Boxy
catch. Maybe they stick around. No, this was not the clean move that I think Liquid wanted it to be. I think they wanted to be able to catch them while they were taking that tower, but cooldowns and TPs not fast enough.
Yeah, both teams overreacting a little bit for these safe lane towers. Not the team fight they were looking for on either side. Something to mention is, sure, this Leshrac had an amazing start. Zai's in a great position to go Bloodstone, try and carry this game. But so is Dark Mago, and this Ember is just going to shred the low armor of this Leshrac for a long time. It's going to be hard for Zai to just run in and assert his presence in this game. He doesn't have that frost armor like from game 1 that was powering up the Mickey Leshrac to just run in and tank all the physical damage. There's a lot to run into. Tombstone, Black Hole, Pudge with his ult, the Ember Slights. This is a game, it's going to go the distance here. No team is going to get run over in this early game. Or skirmish fighting for 12 minutes.
Locks him in. Panda doesn't have his level 6, but he does have a tombstone he can drop here. And they do have Matthew to be able to pull over to the side here. pick up all of these kills. Unfortunately, they will not be able to get Mickey as he used the Rolling Thunder to get out. But still, 2 support kills and Rolling Thunder on cooldown. That probably means mid is free for the taking.
Extra gold for your Pudge. You get some flesh heaps. Yeah, pretty good value out of that haste room. Not able to deny it that time. And he's even going back towards bottom. I think this tower will die. Zai does eventually get some points up in this edict.
He's going to get caught though on his way out. He can't commit to it with a glyph. And he probably knows the rotation's coming over. Dark Mago is going to show up, but there's going to be a snowball turnaround here. They get the chain stun on out to see if they can kill the Undying fast enough. No other spells are going to go out. Dark Mago now has to retreat. Fortunately for him, Zai is out of mana. Not like they have the stuns either way to stop Ember Spirit.
That tier 1 does go down, so Zai gets what he wants, gets to go back to base. Still extremely farm in this game. It's going to be a very fast Bloodstone. Not a lot of early DKPs for Thunder outside of this Ember one. So he's going to be healing. You can infest him too, power him up even more.
Yeah.
Downside between this Lifestealer and Ursa pick, which they were probably deciding, is unlike last game, 1 or 2 kills instantly led into that Roshan. Yeah. Matumba. The Lifestealer, a bit slower in that regard. He's got to farm up into this Armlet, into the Deso, whatever he wants to go. Matumba goes a Shard a lot of times too. Yeah. So you get the extra open wounds, which is going to be decent this game against Pudge.
Allows him to play a lot more active, right?
Yep. Maybe that's also part of the reason of putting this Pango mid. Pango mid can scale a lot harder and a lot more reliably now that offlane Pango is playing more of a utility role. True. So already, Diffusal up for Mickey. Orbit Corrosion, he's pretty good to go. Nice window here for Liquid to try and hit this mid fight. Bloodstone online.
And if his rune Boxy wants to stop it, he picks it up. But they have the Sentry to be able to spot him out. But the Rolling Thunder is coming in through. They do manage to land off with a Sleight of Fist. He has to jump away to the Remnant, but he can come back in from the side here with the zombies chasing after Zai. Sacred, he did not feel it. He thought about going up there, I think, and throwing down the black hole, but ultimately calls it off.
Oh, there's so much poke being played around by both lineups. The slight change that can put you in a position where you're stuck under Tombstone. Maybe a foot comes out. On the dire side, you have these Pango swashbuckles just burning everybody's mana on top of Crystal Maiden nukes. It's really a game of cat and mouse in these river fights. You overstep a little bit, you're going to get roped into a situation you don't want to be in very fast.
Because now up to second in the net where Chart is closing in on that all-important Aghanim Scepter. It's the beginning of the Pudge carry that takes over the game. Will he be able to be strong enough, though, to deal with the lifesteal? I mean, another ballsy idea of going for this Pudge in the first place. Liquid was in this exact situation against Entity. They had to play up against a carry Pudge. They went for the lifesteal. The lifestealer proved to be a super good counter to the Pudge.
It's in familiar territory. Yeah, absolutely. And if you remember that game, at a certain point, this Pudge just runs out of the physical damage to deal with him. The upside is you have Ember and Enigma to help deal with this lifestealer in the later portion. So I don't think you can just always rely on Matumba to be able to man up and cut through those flesh heap stacks. True 5v5 games.
Matthew should be able to jump away with the help. Mago's positioning. They try and get the shards on out here. They get some vision. Really good chains on the 2 supports. Mago, is he going to be mid for this one? He's going to be frostbitten though. Right to the snowball. This is kind of awkward when Matumba landed right on top. He gets another slide out. But does he have a run that to jump to? He does, but it's right next to wall rebound. A play for Matthew. Picks him up, takes him away from that split earth that surely would have been his death.
Beautiful dispose, bailing his core out there. That was a strong commit from Dark Mago. He's still 1 point in his chains. And that makes the skirmishes easier for Liquid. I mean, imagine these chains are level 3, level 4. Suddenly those types of catches just become brutal. Yeah. So Liquid trying to up the tempo, push this mid tower. Double damage on Mickey as well. Ooh. Now you really have to watch out for these swashbuckles. They're going to get 2-shot on some of these backliners. Let Edict do the work.
Really trying to push this one. Thunder, there's no way they're just going to give this one away for free, right? But because he still needs to heal, another round of Edicts is coming in soon. They really, I think, would love to be able to play with this Pudge as soon as he's healed up, but Tower is going to fall. Thunder.
Liquid slightly too fast. Link for Enigma is also flying out right now. Maybe if he has that, maybe they have a glyph, they can take that fight. But nothing aligning at that exact moment for Thunder.
It's actually like the difference of like even just 20 seconds. It could be that Thunder is able to take a fight around their tier 1. It's going to be very different with that Blink Dagger.
I think they're going to look for it now, right? You have Max Tombstone, 2 smokes on Panda Moon, Blink on Sacred. This is a huge window for Thunder to try and hit.
And if they win it, Mago, he can get his BKB as well. The hook is going to miss. The Shards catching 2 as well. There's going to be the roll in. Mago, he's being controlled up. Here comes the rolling Thunder. It's going to be able to hit Sacred. Oh, turn around, bounce back. He's done it. Oh no! Thunder getting run over now by Liquid. As all of the heroes will surround this Pudge. Can they help out? Support to want a rebound. Son, 2-man stun. But Tamame getting low. The Bakaz Pudge still is long enough to be able to get 3. But the supports will be cleaned up in the end. Boxy even showing up off of a buyback to ensure that the fight is indeed done and dusted. Liquid will take it. But what a turnaround there. It could have been so much worse for Thunder.
I mean, Mickey destroyed that fight with the Rolling Thunder. No black hole in sight. They also anchored the fight away from that cliff where high ground Tombstone got dropped.
Yeah.
Imagine they're all on top of that during that entire sequence. Just a little too far for Thunder, and of course the hook missing on Zai gives him a free fight. He's in the middle of everybody doing the most damage by far. I'm going to carry this damn game. Step aside, boys.
Man, this looked like it was just...
This looked like a wipe for free.
This jump in from Matthew, beautiful. 2-man stun, 3-man stun actually, that finishes off 2 supports. And then they get the cleanup on the Tumba Man as well, barely.
That was a rebound from hell right there. And that salvaged a lot of that early game. You get wiped there, it's a very different story. That's why Mickey, happy with what they got, but he'd rather survive through it. And of course, so much gold out of that fight for Kaz in a situation that otherwise was losing.
Yeah.
The same thing for Zai. He is having quite a game on this Straff, man. He's going to have a fast BKB. In fact, he's pretty much going to have it after this camp.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Which means, what damage is being dealt to him during the BKB duration?
Yeah, they really, when you pick up that Pudge carry, magic damage
the
carry.
Downside. You have to be able to survive through his damage. Not happening at the exact moment. Later on, that's a possibility, but for now, he is a god among mortals, unless he gets caught in Black Hole.
Yeah, even then, like these channeling spells, Dismember, Black Hole, if he gets off BKB, Bloodstone, I just don't think they cut through it, no matter what. I think he just probably heals up too much.
Radiant's top tower is
So
under
they got to be
attack.
careful about this Leshrac. They need to be able to find anchor fights, as you said, around this Tombstone. Big repositioning tool. The hook is going to be all important to make that happen.
Good hook could just win or lose the fight.
Oh, the roll-up. Quick reaction from Mickey. That was very smooth and should have gotten the kill on Matthew, but Hook is going to be able to bail out for now.
Tombstone.
They are going to be running into this Tombstone to take the team fight. Zai is in deep, and he used most of his BKB to do damage to nothing.
He's out of
It's going to run out now. They're going to turn. They're going to go for the Dismember here, but the Pledge is low. They've gotten the Black Hole. The Dismember out the Life Stealer. They're controlling Colton Cores at all times. Zai's going to follow up here. Mickey, he's going to have to carry through. The hook finish off a Tumba Man. He needs a little bit of zombies. Let's through it all. Triple kill for him. It's Liquid to fall this time.
That overextension in the Tombstone, you have to be careful. This Pudge can tank a lot. Zai just not enough juice in the tank. Runs out of mana. I mean, he's dealing the damage, but he can only do so much. But Tumba just didn't get to do anything in that fight, really. He runs in, gets dismembered. There's a Black Hole right behind him.
I mean, Thunder played that so beautifully.
Oh, yeah. The hook to save the Marcy as well, right? If that whole sequence doesn't happen, I mean, because he rots and kills the creep wave so he can hook his guy out, which forces the fight deeper into Midnight Pulse, into Tombstone.
Never refuse good.
The worst anchor you can ask for if you're Liquid here.
And look at him just kind of keeping around this Tombstone in this play right here. I love this. The Black Hole on Zai, at the same time the Dismember on
Pulling him in,
Man. Controlling both the cores like that, stopping all the damage and keeping Pakaz alive to do the raw damage needed.
And Mickey is close to cleaning him up here, too.
Are scanning.
If there's one player who has managed his HP better than almost anyone else this tournament, it's gotta be Pakaz. From the Bloodseeker heals to his Pudge game. And Pakaz managed
What a read by him. That is a smoke failure for Team Liquid.
This guy is in the zone right now.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Might take this entire Liquid squad to bring this guy down.
You see what Bakaz has in his backpack? He's got that nether shawl, which is usually a crazy good item for Pudge. But at the same time, he doesn't necessarily want to be lowering his armor too much against that life stealer.
I think he's going to swap it in for the fight. He's using the whip to get around a little bit, get some regen, he'll swap it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got BKB flying out. So now that Shrek damage is not going through to as many heroes as they want, right? BKB on Ember, BKB on
the Roshan pit. How low is Roche? They're going to come out, they're going to fight, they're going to get a really good Rolling Thunder, bouncing through the entire team, but Bakaz standing strong with the BKB is going to be able to melt through Matumbaman. No, he managed to get the effect off. He's actually inside through, and with the Enigma now dead, so much of their team fight is gone. Bakaz being run down now, the pop out from Matumbaman, saved by a sliver of health, stays alive. Oh, he gets slighted down. Hey, Darmago picks up 2 at the end, but it was still an abject disaster team fight for Thunder otherwise. And back into the Roshan pit they go without Life Stealer. Can they do it? Maybe.
Probably can. Pango's probably enough here, and no Tombstone, no Black Hole for that fight. Mickey just controlling them on that cliff, on that choke point absolutely beautifully. Sets up the whole engagement. Once again, Thunder salvaging something at the very end with some nice play to claim at least some kills, but that's Aegis to Zai, which is huge because, as we said, he runs out of mana. Maybe you don't want to kill him. He comes back a second time with full resources. Your BKBs are gone. We see there, once your BKBs are out, that Lesh is going to melt you. The Liquid claiming decent control over this game. They're going to continue to scale through all their cores. Pango working towards that Basher. Matumba taking a backseat to his other 2 cores in this one, but there's a carry player in the world who's happy to do that to get the win. It's probably this man.
Can we take a peek into the late game? What does that look like in a matchup like this? Because you said you just don't think this is going to go the distance, right? So what does that distance look like exactly for both sides? I mean, do you feel like one team or the other has a stronger late game? We're going to take a peek into this Roche fight.
I have time, I got a peek roll. I got a peek roll in the backline.
Yeah, you're here.
Let me stay next to me. Stay next to me. Yeah. Try to come up. Yeah.
Ember on the edge.
I got freeze. Yes, I ran here. Next side. He fucked up.
Dire's top
The chaos of a team fight in a game 3. Call your targets and hope for the best.
Yeah, Mickey, look at the back line. Look at the back line. He hit that entrance. He said, everybody just follow up. Liquid did a pretty decent job. But man, it was actually the hook that hit him and the idol that finished him up. That had to feel real bad.
The slight missed a little, but the right clicks always accurate. Now Liquid trying to push a tier 2. Get that outpost control. Talking about that late game. This is a scary late game, man. I feel like if this does go late, it's pretty hard to know who wins. The Black Hole becomes very strong, especially if you land it on Pango. He's kind of the only Black Hole break. Already Basher online. But of course, a lot of these late games I've seen with Pangolier, this hero's just an absolute beast. So hard to shut down. There is no direct counter in terms of Rupture or something like that.
Yeah.
Pudge does not do amazing and super long engagements where he's getting abused in the physical armor department. You kind of have to get to this 5 or 6 slot territory where you have Shivas and you can last through a bunch of damage. It might get to that point. But I think Liquid is comfortable scaling here for the foreseeable future, especially with Roshan control.
Nice force. The other side, but you can only do so much here, my friend. And will be run down 19 to 21. Pretty even game net worth wise, but Liquid does feel like they have a bit more control of the game, especially with that Aegis and for Zai. Big offlaner of Team Liquid is perhaps, well, he is the biggest hero in the game with the highest net worth.
Yeah, he's the carry now. Yeah. One wild card we have to keep track of is, Marcy is Marcy, right? Sure. And Matthew's done a pretty decent job finding net worth on this map. Almost a BKB. Hero does become a decent X factor when you get to that BKB. You get to BKB Basher, start solo killing cores out of nowhere. Can give you some extra right-click carry potential, which their lineup desperately needs if this is going to go late. You can sidekick to Ember, but no one's really manning up into the Lifestealer through Rage outside of Black Hole. Right. This is also BKB coming out for Enigma, so this is another big window for Thunder. In theory, an uncancelable Black Hole. As long as you don't get bashed.
Yeah, that is going to be the big question, do you think he puts extra effort to grabbing the Pango in the black hole, but at the same time, like, you have to stop this Lifestealer from eating your Pudge? It's going to be hard for Sacred. He's going to have a hard time choosing what his targets are going to be with his black hole. A Dream, of course, would be getting both of them.
Oh, if you can just grab all 5, that sounds pretty good.
Easy.
Flip side is if Liquid can ever see Enigma and jump him, it's the Dream.
Go for the invest, they go for the initiation. They're going to try and change setup. Dark Mago, but he gives up the slate, and he jumps away. Oh, and the Soul is going to pull Boxy into an awkward. Oh, it's not just him, it's Zai as well. Right next to the tier 2, the Tombstone's out, and Liquid, they have to retreat. That was a very dangerous position to be in. Fortunately, there was no, like, Pudge hook or anything to drag him in even deeper.
Yeah, because has Blink, he can reposition, hook some of these heroes very deep. Again, Thunder has spells they want to anchor the fight around. You pull them in, you have to fight into that Tombstone. It gets a bit scary. Still Aegis up for 15 there, so Zai might have been okay, but now it's wearing out. He has a Blink of his own, just going full scale build. Full carry, Blink, Hex, Bloodstone, Track. We've seen this a bunch of times.
It's like, Mickey, yeah, it looked pretty fun when you were doing it.
I think he's asking him what his item build was.
Could be. Need a little advice.
Maybe they're asking each other. That's teamwork, baby.
That is. 5-man smoke up. Haste rune for Mago. Now,
nice little rune.
We've talked about how they got this fresh BKB black hole opportunity. This could be where Thunder turns around some of the momentum in this game. But it looks like they just didn't really find anything. Liquid playing the opposite side of the map, and it's becoming more and more obvious about this play with the tier 3 being hit by creeps. So
they're not losing too much out on the map. That's the upside for Thunder here. It does feel like they're on the back foot. They're getting their BKBs, the ones up on Matthew. They have this plate mail up on their Pudge now. A lot of EHP going his way. And like you said, Haste Rune, BKB on Dark Mago. They feel what I feel. It's time to try and make another play. Find something on this map. This smoke fails, you can't help but feel like you're just going to the next Roshan.
Yeah, they just double smoked, right? I know. This is a must-have.
Boxy just breaks it.
Boxy breaks it, and
got the snowball.
It's a snowball over to the side. We'll try and blink away afterwards. There's going to be the Ropto instantly canceling it, but at the same time, the rest of the team, well, they're kind of here, but they're kind of not. Oh, what a snag from Bagaz.
Come to the big man.
2 supports down on the side of Liquid. But I call it at that. Thunder, we'll see what they can do with this. If they can take some sort of map control. I mean, we also got to start setting up for Roshan soon, too.
Yeah, that's what these smokes are for, right? You get the kills, it means you can transition into map control somewhere else. You're just gearing up for this Roshan. You really want it if you're both sides. You just decide your fate at this tournament. It's going to be hard to fight around the pit in a way for both teams, right? You have to keep in mind this Pangolier. You get stuck in the pit versus the Bashes versus the Rolling Thunder. You're in big trouble. On the flip side, you have Tombstone and Black Hole. You don't want to commit and clump versus lineup ever in this game.
Yeah.
It's a deadly area for both teams. That's why positioning vision means everything right now, and every bit of survivability you can get. The one upside is Dire always has that Dire outpost with buybacks. And buybacks versus Enigma, powerful as well. Something Liquid might think about in this game.
Oh, they see Zai. And Aegis, they're going to go for him. See if they can get the hook off of the chains, or they just blink forward Dismember. Now, he did get off the BKB. That'll shrug off a lot of the damage, but the Bloodstone is still on cooldown. He needs some help. He needs a bailout. Boxy is there to pick him into the snowball. They've also got Matumba Man to perhaps be able to get the infast, but it's just grouping up, and that is going to be one down, but they managed to get the blink away. Dark Mago's still chasing after, and they managed to get a beautiful black hole under the 2. It's exactly what they wanted. The Pango and the Lifestealer. Mickey rolls it up. Oh, shield crash on the side. They have to try and run away. He's going to fight the damage. The damage coming out for this slate, and almost cuts down Zai, but he's eating through with the Bloodstone. He's getting up. He's all the way to full. He's unstoppable in this team fight as he's running through here after hero. It's the Split Earth as well. You're going nowhere, Mago. He falls as well. Zai here to carry this game. They built this lineup around him, and he's going to try and cement their way into the finals, into the stadium for Liquid.
Zai putting on every single trick in the book, man. He gets the blink out of the snowball, resets to the backline, forces Dark Mago to chase him super deep, and then ends up dealing the most damage, hitting the beautiful Split Earth at the end. 8,400 damage coming out from this Leshrac. No one was even close. It's a one-man wrecking crew, it feels like. I mean, remember how this fight started? It was him getting caught.
Yep.
Liquid has to try and bail him out. it's only right that in the end he comes back.
That's true. He put them in this nasty position. Yeah. He's the one who carries the fight in the end. Big shout out to Boxy there for being able to get that save. But I mean, I thought it was over right here. Sacred hitting. We said it goes down. We said the ideal scenario is stopping the Basher hero and catching the Lifestealer. Sacred did what he needed to do.
And it was an amazing ult from him, and this damage coming out was insane. But look at how much this Lestrak heals. There's no BKBs at this point. Yeah, he is mopping them up.
So much damage from that Ember Spirit. He had that fresh pickup of the level 20 talent, which is a huge increase in the slight and why he was doing so much. Oh yeah, the Paladin Sword with the Bloodstone.
Yeah, extra
that might have made the extra difference.
Now aggressive smoke on their own. Blink Hex on the Slash. He is going to blink on anybody.
Blink side trade into Mago. That's what they wanted. The Ember Spirit is down first, and they're going to be able to get the Marcy on top of that. Look at Mickey rolling through the back line. He caught the Marcy. He'll get Panda Mood too. 3 dead, and Liquid very well set up for Roshan. It hasn't actually spawned yet, though, so fortunately for Thunder, they will have an opportunity to contest.
They have the opportunity. They're not going to have the vision. Now they're going to have to trek back out there, and because maybe in trouble.
This is a little awkward. They simply need to get the blink away before the rest of the is here, and he's going to go for the hook back in. They're trying to drag Liquid into this nasty situation with all these buybacks. They're going to give up Foxy. Can the rest of Liquid get out? Matamame got caught. He doesn't have the fast. He couldn't jump in everybody, but Zai's going for it. He just jumps right into the entire enemy team with his BKB Bloodstone, but now it's run out. Now he's been dismembered. Now he's stuck on top of the Undying. The undead duo of Panda Moon Because will finally bring him down.
So again, anchoring that fight deep. It's just a death sentence for Liquid. Of course, that was triple buyback from Thunder, but if they get Roche off it, you have to feel like that's worth it because they were in no position to get past that. Maybe the bait of Pakaz's life there, just dismembering, blinks out before the damage is done. I mean, the amount of small plays in this game is absolutely ridiculous. Suddenly, that Roshan that felt like it was going to be Liquid's for sure goes the other way. This is just disgusting, this bait.
This play, the hook back in. Matumman has blown his rage. The buybacks come into play. They say, this is our chance. This is our opportunity. We don't have vision around Roche, but we can play around our tier 2.
I mean, it's just a crazy play call, right? You don't even have Black Hole in this fight.
Yeah.
Like, Liquid can just back off there, and you're wasting an Ember buyback. They don't get anything out of this engagement. But the bait works. Sometimes they bite, and triple buyback is expensive, but, Roshan happy to collect the fee.
The risk taken to seek the rewards, and they got a big one in that Aegis pickup, plus the shard. So, Thunder, even in a game 3, no playing conservatively, they're playing to win right now. They are willing to take those risks in order to get to that top 4 position. Mickey now with an Abyssal Blade, big pickup, but the Shivas on Because is another huge one.
Yeah.
That'll help a lot against the damage of that Lifestealer, who has had a precipitous fall in the network chart. Look at him, he's bottom of all the course.
It's a product of the 2 other carries in this game taking all the net worth away from him.
Yeah.
They definitely rewarded the team with the amount of damage they've outputted, but of course, Matoma has had to take a step back, and in some ways, he is the big pudge killer. So if he's down there, Because is up at the top. You have to think about who's going to answer this pudge with Shivas and Blastrig on him.
Thunder on the hunt. They're going to run to the Crystal Maiden first.
Vision down. See everything.
Catch him. Matamba Man. Oh, they pass off the gem. Let him get away. They caught him. Pull back in. Matamba Man. They do manage to get the back, but there's the black hole. Taker with the blink into it. Extra one. Mickey jumps into it. 3 dead. Roll up. Actually, Mickey trying to get away. The last light is coming in. Is it going to be enough? Another hook. Dodge to the side. Bumps into the wall, though. He can't blink away. It's going to run out soon. He does not. Shield crack. Look out. But no, it's stopped by Dark Mago. Mickey falls. 4 dead on the side of Team Liquid. What a jump in. They were so desperate to save that gem that in the end, they get caught in another bad team fight.
No BKB got off for Lesh there. Matoma gets caught. Mickey tries to blink in an Abyssal to salvage that fight with canceling the black hole, but the range is not there, and the aggressiveness from Thunder paying dividends in this late game. Because has absolutely no fear, just goes in, hooks Matoma back, says, "You're mine, son."
Look at that, Sacred, just a beautiful follow-up.
Asks man to deliver on Enigma, and he does it every single time. Just 2 or 3 man holes the entire game. You cannot ask for anything better. Has the vision, has the tombstone to help him out. And of course, his 2 other frontliners making it easy for him. Liquid caught off guard, and they're going to pay a heavy price here.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be tier 3. That's going to be perhaps a full lane of barracks.
What does a barracks mean, though, Cap? What does a barracks mean in this series? Absolutely nothing in my book.
That's true.
We had a lot of them down game 1, and that didn't do shit, so we're still here.
That is true. It's going to be Team Liquid's, it's going to be their turn to be playing off the back foot and see how they're able to fare against this pressure. Still 2 minutes left on the Aegis with the mid lane down.
A lot of items coming out for Thunder after that fight. Doctrine was completed on Enigma, so his black hole's lower cooldown, and of course Marcy working towards that Basher. That's where the fight just becomes even harder for Matumba.
Yeah.
Like, now you have the one punch wonder coming in and destroying your BKB duration. So annoying. On top of that, Bakaz continuing to scale. He's pushing towards a Lincoln's. Just buying out here. No fear, no requirement for buyback. Of course, Dark Mago. Got a shard out of that. Arcane Rune just popped. Level 23.
Finds the initiation. Marcy. That's going to be the first one down, but it's just a support. Thunder, they can either retreat and call it quits here.
No shard latch.
Yeah.
Nice find by Liquid, trying to deny them that rune control. We'll give them a window to continue farming here. And I was thinking about it, but Mikke is going to go for that Aether Lens. So his big play, blink in, Abyssal the Enigma with the extra range.
Yeah, but isn't Sacred already, he's already countering that. He's trying to build up the Lincolns.
And he's trying to, but he's not there yet, right?
It's true, yeah.
Bakaz is closer. Maybe he throws it on his buddy here.
That is going to be super interesting dynamic. Of course, it'll also mean he could build into a full-out Octarine on the Pango at some point, but just this small little window could be so key. I mean,
the Infest jump from Liquid is how they want to fight, right?
Yeah.
You Infest Celeste, she jumps, you hex somebody, you go on him. The problem is some of these saves are starting to come out. Like, you can rebound dispose, you can blink black hole to cover them, but more importantly, because he has blink, Lincolns, and the shard on Pudge, he can blink eat somebody, suddenly your initiation goes away, and he's just BKB there, EEU instead, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, game favorability, I'd say it does favor Thunder pretty heavily at this point. They have a lot of tools to deal with the Liquid initiation, and they are ramping up in the scale department. Aeon Disc on Dark Mago as well. These jumps are just becoming harder and harder. And who's actually going to win these late game man fights? Again, like you were saying, Matumba's just on catch-up duty this whole game. I don't think he has the firepower to stand there and man fight Marcy and Pudge and Black Hole.
Yeah, there is a lot of problems for him when it was supposed to be a game for Lifestealer to carry. Instead, it turned into a game for Leshrac to carry. That's who they're playing around right now. They're looking for another opportunity, another initiation. Opportunity, everybody got the BKB. Turn around, Black Hole. Disaster. Liquid, what have you done? Instantly, the two carries of the game gone. And the chains. Dark Mago with the +1. Real back in with the hook, baby. 3 dead on Liquid. Thunder. They're beginning to feel it now. They're beginning to feel a series cooking up. To their advantage, 8,000 net worth lead. They can run down this side lanes. They can force some buybacks even.
11 years in the making for this game right here for South American Dota. And that tree line did them all the favors, man. I think Zai lost vision around the fog just for that second, which is long enough for Sacred to get his BKB off. Imagine that ward still in the high ground. Oh, he just didn't get him in time. And Bakaz was right there throwing the Lincoln, so he's aware of this play. A game of inches. That is Dota2. And it's another botched initiation that's just going to cost Liquid dearly here. Another lane of racks. They have the tier 2 top, so no chance for Megas up in 20. But Thunder are in full control of this game. And it doesn't look like it's getting much easier. Again, the net worth is just not there on your Lifestealer. It's coming down to these clutch jumps from Zai, but he's running out of gas. And the levels are just pouring in for Thunder after all these engagements. Level 25 on this Ember Spirit. He's debating what he wants to go here. But if Ags is on the horizon, both these talents seem pretty juicy.
Avery, I can't help but thinking back to that secret Mineski series. Another series where there was a Mega Creeps comeback. And Mineski, they lost finish that game 1. But they go on to win game 2, and it's one of those great what-ifs of Dota 2. It's like, what if they managed to just close out that game 1? They 2-0 Team Secret. What an incredible play. And I have to wonder, in a game 3 like this, if that starts worming into your head, if we had just closed out that game 1, we would have moved on already. Team Liquid, there is so much stress in them right now. They're going to find another pickup here. It's going to be Insania dying first, but there is a Rolling Thunder on out there, trying to hit some of the back line. Nobody's there to follow it up, though. I think Mickey is probably just going to, well, he's going to have to reset here.
This is awkward.
Yeah, he's going back into them. Starts blinking away to the side. It's because they actually have Zai out here as well. But Thunder, they're closing in. They are going to be able to catch up here. The BKB goes out for Mickey. Zai, he's going to pop that side. He's trying to stop that dismember. They need the bashes. They need to be able to stop Sacred as well. Sacred, they spot him. They need a bash. And they get it. Oh, a desperate bash. He immediately buys back, though. Now it's Liquid. They got to reset this one somehow, because otherwise Sacred's going to come in with a game-ending black hole. They're rolling Thunder on through. Because snatches up Insania. That's going to be a dive back there. Matabaman sticking on top of the Pudge as best as possible. Zai, they're going to try and chase down this Pudge. Sacred's not here yet to bail him out. It's Liquid finishing up the heroes of Thunder. The buybacks are going to be potentially completely wasted here for Thunder.
I did not think that was a fight for Liquid, but Thunder just got split on target prioritization, and of course no black hole for this Enigma. He had a chance to throw it, but the jump from Zai, too good that time. Able to finish him off before it comes out. Double buyback for Thunder, Enigma and Marcy.
Now they're looking for more and more immediate buybacks. Oh, that is everybody. What a use. The neutralize. They push him away. It stops the stun. Matthew is, oh no, he's not going to be able to get out. Boxy is stuck here. He does what damage he can. Zai's actually trying to follow it up, but they don't want to go for an undying. That's not the hero. Black hole, they win. Oh no, Sacred. He thought he had Mickey to pistol lane on through. They're going for Zai. He's dead. Finished out. Because found his victim. Sacred's going to be finished off by Matabaman at the same time. 2 offlaners dead. Mickey, BKB. But just going to stop him. You're not getting away from Marcy. A swashbuckle over the side, but Marcy sticks to it. Another hook land from Because. And that Mickey down means Thunder are going to be able to turn their attention over the Roshan. Liquid.
All the buybacks, so aggressive from Thunder in this game, making it work. Another Roshan going their way. And Because hitting level 25, hitting more flesh heaps. This guy's got 84 bonus strength in the pocket, pushing 5,000 HP. He is a killer. He wants that top 4 berth. Another game which hinges on the edge here. Very little buybacks for both teams. Only the Pangolier, but of course, Roshan down, and that is a refresher shard going Thunder's way. I think they would have preferred the Ags.
Do you? I mean, they've got an Enigma, but maybe just one black hole was always going to be good enough.
I feel like Ags on this Ember is pretty disgusting, but of course, refresher shard for Enigma. You're never going to refuse it. I mean, we see Liquid. They have done an amazing job making this game hard for Sacred. That last fight, black hole on nothing. That's the pressure. He's getting jumped. He's getting forced around. It's the most you can do in this type of situation. And you got 5 buybacks out of Thunder. I'm getting flashbacks to game 1, man, where...
Oh, boy. Don't you dare say it. Don't you dare say it, Avery.
I mean, no buybacks, you know? Something goes wrong here. It only takes 1 jump, 1 team type from Liquid.
Yes.
Thunder in control, very confident, but at the same time, how bold are they, right? Do they want to take a fight before those buybacks come back up?
Yeah.
Dark Mago can farm his here, and that's a big deal because he can just go in front line, use it, buyback, come instantly in with the Remnant. So that's probably the best hero to have the buyback up on. I mean, he's swapping so many items in his backpack, he doesn't even have the slots. And of course, Aeon discs galore for this Thunder team. Sacred has his, he can assemble it at any time. Refresher shard pass to him as well. We are hitting late game territory with an Enigma with many ults. And Liquid stuck in a base defense situation. They can find the jump. They can still win this game.
So one crucial play we have to outline here. Sacred has an unlocked Aeon disc.
He does.
In his backpack. So if they try and focus him down, they jump on top and get the bash. Go, kill this Enigma. If he pops in that Aeon disc, it's a huge opportunity to turn around and get the black hole. It doesn't matter if you're doing damage. Just the control is going to be enough.
Absolutely. And remember, Pekaz can blink, dismember any of his teammates at any point. He has Aegis on top of himself as well. Refresher in the backpack. Just so much net worth on this Thunder team. A lot of it is in these weird items, but they actually passed the Refresher shard back to Marcy over here. I mean, honestly, Double BKB.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. Maybe they just don't want to put all their eggs in this Enigma basket.
That's fair
Can't
enough.
blame him, because you know Liquid is thinking about him. Every fight, find the Enigma. That is the way to victory. Last lane here. We're going to see another mega creep situation. How blessed are we today?
It's such a scary position for Thunder, who are the ones making the shot here. They're making the call. They do not have the buybacks, but they do have an Aegis. They have this overwhelming advantage for the next team fight. But if they stumble here, just before the finish line, it could be all over so quickly. Dark Mago jumps forward.
But Title bought out. He bought out for AC. He has short buyback on the way.
There's the hook. The first snap. They're trying to deal with this ward, and it ends up getting a freebie. Now it's a 4 versus 5, 4 versus 6 with the Aegis. Rolling Thunder, here it comes. Mickey leading off the charge.
Gotta make it count. Zai getting past.
Matthew on in. You got bash on BKB immediately. The bash going in. And now the Walrus punch as well. But a BKB, it's running out. Now he's got the flash. Bash again. Bash again. Oh, that's going to be a dive back. And Pagaz is in so deep. But Dotameme needs it out. His rage was running thin, so he invests inside of Zai. But now Zai's in trouble. He's being focused down. And Dotameme pops right back out. They have the refresher. And they net is going to be enough to be able to finish off a Dotameme, but he doesn't have the buyback. Foxy, he's going in. Zai, the second lifer. Get back to the fountain. The Havoc Hammer pushing him away. Melting him, running him down. The Bloodstone gets up. Rampage the kill. Rampage of the main stage. Dotameme got the buyback. He's going to die once. Nobody else. It's just Dark Mago. It's just because a 2-on-2. 2 courts. Blink away. The Rolling Thunder doesn't land. Can they escape? Does Liquid want to pursue? Do they have to? Insania now joining in with them. Dark Mago's going to try and deal with him where he can. The freezing field going out with the Suns. He's actually doing so much damage with Dotameme with the bashes. Mickey as well. One fall. The other to follow. No buybacks. Team Liquid. They hold again.
What the fuck are these games, man? I have no idea. These games are absolutely bonkers. Thunder have no buybacks. Is this a throne situation for Liquid?
Can they do
They
it?
just walk it down mid.
Walk down mid lane. A click. The throne. Are Liquid going to be able to do it fast enough?
You know what? Tumbo was like 100 gold off buyback in that fight. And he got it up as Pagaz is in the base, melting them all. You could not ask for anything closer. So many of those fights too. Sacred blinked in and got insta-bash first hit. Then he got abyssal bashed off the swashbuckle. The Dota gods did not want that black hole going off. And it might just pay the final price here for Thunder in their upper bracket.
Avery, you
Below
said
bracket.
a little luck
I don't even know what bracket.
goes a long way.
A little luck is a pretty good strategy in this game. Black hole up in 9. It's got to be the one of a lifetime. They still have Glyph.
Okay, we have glyphs.
How much does Liquid want to push it?
He's going to heal up as much as possible. Black hole ready to go. We have this Marcy who does a ton of damage. We talked about how much farm Matthew is getting. Can he, with Sacred, stop this? Or can they delay Stall enough for the rest of the team to show up? And the Undying's going to be here. I think this is going to have to be a
Remember, they get
3-on-4.
another Glyph here too.
If they don't go soon, though, it's going to be the Leshrac joining them as well, a 3-on-5.
This is a hard fight. You have to pick your jump well. You have to hit towards the
Now Sacred goes for it. Immediately, the Black Hole is going to focus all in onto Mickey. And it looks like maybe they got him down. No, all over the side. Swatchwell over the Rolling Thunder up through them. Mickey surviving through it. And now the Marcy dies. And now they get the shot on the Sacred. Now he's dead as well. 12 seconds. How much can you get in 12 seconds, Liquid? Can you claim top 4 in 5? It's not going to happen. The throne's not dying fast enough.
Dark Mago's up there
Oh,
too.
he just killed him. Run back in. Now the buybacks. Now the comeback through. The throw die fast. What doesn't help? Trying to finish up.
Absolutely insane from Liquid.
Can you believe it? A tragedy. A triumph. A curse. A miracle. Call it what you want. But it is Team Liquid taking top 4. Team Liquid is going to the finals of the International.
Going to the final. They still got some ways to go, but they're going to that final weekend. I mean, how many carries does it take to break this Thunder team? You have to give it to them. Pagaz might be the best carry in the world right now, but Team Liquid just playing on another level in these end games. Every single little thing seemed like it was going their way down the clutch.
celebration here from Team Liquid celebrating their victory to Thunder. Oh, Thunder, a top 4 was so close. It was in their grasp. What an incredible game. What an incredible series. Respect to both the competitors for just an outrageous series. Team Liquid.
No buybacks. Sometimes that's what Dota comes down to. Sometimes a little luck too, you know? I'm starting to believe in that spirit mantra a little bit more every game at this tournament. Some of those bashes, some of those hits, man. You're going to be thinking about those years later from now. But Team Liquid, they're not going to be thinking about them for too long because, of course, they do get the rest days to go into that final playoff bracket, like you said. My God, the momentum this team has. The amount of times they've been pushed to the brink, from LCQ to this, to Game 1 Mega Creep losing, to Game 3 on the edge.
Incredible series. Team Liquid.
We'll move on. I'll just leave you with this. Dota is a goddamn beautiful game. Love it.
Nothing better in the world.
All right, it's about time to kick things off to our panel, wrap up this series.
Thank you very much, Cap and SVG. As you can see there, Matu, the Finnish warrior, he was fighting last moments to defend the base with Mickey, and then even when Mickey got jumped, he infested him, saved Mickey, and it was able to turn that fight and move forward. What a wonderful game for Team Liquid. Unbelievable, guys.
It's just so poetic, you know. You think about Liquid in Game 1, they're losing in this style. They go to Game 3, it looks like Thunder's going to be winning. They kind of throw away some buybacks at the very end, but they run it down mid. They're all like hitting the oh God, I don't know. That is just an incredible series. I feel kind of bad for Thunder Awakened to be losing it after all that, but for Liquid to keep up their might and then be able to convert at the very end, and how emotional you saw Blitz, the coach, crying at the very end as well. Like his emotions, I don't know. I'm speechless.
What kind of energy is even carrying them any longer? Like, what is this?
It's not your retirement, guys, please.
I got so emotional watching that game. It's like, it's so exciting. There's so many, it's just going back and forth. I'm like, oh yeah, they have the refresher orbs and this Enigma double black hole. Like, there's so many ways for them to end this game. It's looking worse. They get the Aegis, like everything's stacking up against Liquid, and somehow they just pull out that magic. They get the pickup, they find the jump, they look for the Enigma. Every single fight, one thing on their mind, find Enigma, stop him from black holing. And when they were able to, magic happened.
And it looked so clean from TA up to that point, up to the push next to the fountain. It looked like, yeah, if we kill this Slash, the game is almost over. Then, not really. You get one buyback, you get two, you get memegaming just going crazy after that pudge. Top lane fight as well. All up to that point, I thought that TA, they're in complete control.
Like Thunder Awakened, they had such incredible games. You know, Dark Margo with like 20 kills, 7 deaths, 18 assists. You know, you have
a rampage as well.
Yeah, Fakal just gets a rampage at the very end. Like, he's hitting over like 70% hook accuracy in the final game with best of 3, lower bracket. Like, they're just having incredible games. It's just when you get to this point, when the game gets so chaotic, be it Game 1, be it Game 3, it's respecting the buybacks, understanding your limits, and both teams demonstrated that. They kind of get so excited to try and go for that end that they then unfortunately don't have the resources to take the fight after. And you see here,
that previous fight was when I think we all thought Thunder Awakened were going to be able to close out this game, and this fight here, as you can see, Dark Mago gets his on his rampage, but now it's memegaming and Mickey to actually defend. And Insania also comes out on his Crystal Maiden, throws down a wonderful freezing field. There's Insania. Mickey's like, we just did it. And even walking off stage, you know, I saw memegaming look over the box and just shake his head. And he was, I don't believe it. Boxy just looks back and shakes his head as well. And they just keep walking. So like, how did we win? And I somewhat think that even Thunder Awakened think, how did they win? Because everybody played amazing
for better,
on both teams.
100%.
For better or worse, emotions just get the better of you in these situations. You, at some point, you're just on full autopilot. You don't know exactly what's happening there. You could see Insania. He's just screaming. The fights are so hectic. Like, at one point, you could see memegaming running back to the Crystal Maiden just to carry the gem, just to take the gem. They lose that fight, and that's when it looked really grim.
And don't worry, by the way, even though it says memegaming in last match, that was previous match. He's got more to play because he's not retired.
Thank God for that, man. He lives